Maybe. No, just kidding.
Hi, this is David Wright from Survivor Millennials vs. Gen X, and you're listening to Survivor Talk with Dwaine and David. I promise I'm not trying to find an idol. Also, does anybody know where I can find an idol?
Welcome to Survivor Talk with D&D. We are just two best friends talking about the show we love, Survivor. And I am here with my friend. Hold on. Where the heck is it? This is so frustrating. David.
You spent so much time on those notes.
I did, and now I can't see the whole color.
Oh, is it still blacked out?
Yeah, it's the whole blackout thing, and I can't even read it because... all right. Who can even... Okay. My name is Dwaine, and I'm here with the guy who can name 11-letter words at the drop of a hat. My best friend, David Jones. All right. So, David, this is what I'm going to do. All right. You had no idea I was going to tell you that, did you?
No.
So, David's going to name 11-letter words at the drop of a hat. I'm going to say I'm going to say a number, and you're just going to tell me 3 11-letter words. Are you ready?
Okay.
3, 2, 1, go.
So I just got to say one because you said you're going to say a number.
3. You got to come up with 3 words. Stop stalling.
Reinventing. Nutritional. Was perspiration 11 letters? I don't know. That was Brad's. I'm not sure I can trust him. Ridiculousness. I don't know.
Okay, y'all, look. On the show notes, it has 3 11-letter words right there for him to look at. And he still didn't get it. That is hilarious.
You said it was blacked out. No, I'm not looking at the notes.
I unblacked it. You're supposed to look at it when I unblacked it.
That would be cheating.
No, that was kind of the
We're not
whole
allowed
idea.
to cheat. Production cheats. We're not allowed to. Oh, I mean, no. Yeah. We're not allowed to cheat, you know.
No. Hey, whatever it takes for ratings, David. I'm going to call you out for something. Anyway, that didn't work out too well. Anyway, we're live on YouTube and on our website. And, of course, the chat room is filling up with our regulars and a few new faces, looks like. Yeah, just a few. So let's get on with it. By the way, David, was Cass not a wonderful guest last week?
Cass was amazing. She's always amazing.
I know. And how cool was it that she came out of Survivor retirement to be on our show?
It's coolest because Cass is cool.
Yeah, she said, I came out just to do your show, and now I'm going to go back down under.
In Texas.
So, but that was pretty awesome. If you haven't downloaded it, go back and listen to it. What was that?
You'll find out later.
By the way, everybody, happy 300th, David.
Thank you, Dwaine. It's been a long time coming.
300 episodes, and we're celebrating with just you and me.
Did you like my tweet? Did you see my 300 tweet?
No, I did not. Was it like the 300 like from the movie?
Yes. Yeah.
Have to
go look at that and read it.
Like right now?
Yes, go look at it. I tagged you in it. How could you not have seen it? I put it on in our Facebook group too.
For those of you on the audio podcast, I am now looking up twitter.com. Feel free to. I can't look up Twitter on my computer right now because it's protected.
But it says it's the messenger saying this is crazy, this is madness, and then Leonidas says this is madness. This is Survivor Talk with D&D.
Dude, I like that.
300. I know, that's Alina. Awesome, Alina.
Way to go, Alina.
She's so great. She I give her a poster idea and I get it back in about 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
Whether she's asleep or at work, she still puts it together. Cool. She's awesome.
All right. Well, enough of that. There are 3 episodes of Survivor remaining, and we've got 2 great guests coming up. But before I tell you about them, I have a few shout outs to give. So a well-deserved shout out to Mike K, the one and only Mike K, who Mike actually raised his monthly support through Patreon, which gives him the perk of being able to stump us with a riddle. I know you're thinking, what kind of perk is that? Well, I had to think of something.
It's more of a given than a perk. Yeah. I don't think it's going to be.
Neither one of us has read the riddle, right?
Right. It's in our email box, but it's unopened.
Yeah, which means I'm going to have to open email here in a little bit. But anyway, so Mike has sent us a riddle, and we are going to solve it at the end of the podcast. If you're considering becoming a patron, head on over to our Patreon page and see how easy it is. At the end of the show, we will read his riddle. So I just think it's going to be humiliating, actually.
I'm afraid.
Yeah.
You've given him too many. You've given too much leeway here.
If you just think
because you said
about
make an original, right?
No, I don't care if it's original or not. Heck, I hope it's not. I might be able to look it up while we're talking.
He's going to give me the stall signal.
But of all people to do the first riddle, Mike K, who you say, I wonder what day of the week it was in March 30th, 2085, or it will be. And he go, oh, that'll be. So anyway, so I only have one shout out. So
it's probably going to be Survivor related is my guess. So I'm hoping it's something we know.
All right. So who are our two remaining guests? We're going to have one of them next week, and it's Carolyn Rivera from Survivor Worlds Apart. Go ahead.
Mama C.
We've had her on before and had a blast, so we're looking forward to next week. We're going to start a little early next week if we can.
Yes, thank you. I was going to say that. She's got to cut out at 9:59. She's got a commitment at 10, so we're going to try and start early if we can, depending on mine and Dwayne's schedule. She's ready to go.
Yeah. Mike K's in the chat room. He says, an interesting perk. I know I had to try to find something you couldn't easily Google. Definitely Survivor related. Yeah, then I'm out. Wait, it's a riddle though. It's not a quiz, Mike. It's a riddle. Oh gosh, I'm so not looking forward to this.
I'm out. You read the intro to it and you're already out.
I mean, I am not the Survivor encyclopedia here at all.
No, I'm not either.
Oh,
I can name the winners, but I'm not encyclopedia.
Our final guest for our finale. Oh, it's going to be good. I cannot wait. Is actually joining us for our finale. And now that is going to be an exciting episode to talk about. By the way, we're just talking about the finale. I don't give a rip about the reunion show.
Okay.
So we're just talking about the finale. All right. In fact, the show is airing live on my wedding anniversary, David, May 25th.
Mm-hmm.
I will have been married 26 years.
Oh, you're a bunch of youngins.
May 25th. Yeah. At 1 p.m. Listen, y'all, 1 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. All right. Mm-hmm. 1 p.m. That's in the middle of the day. So you're at work, you flip on over to us and you watch it with your headphones on and act like you're doing a spreadsheet. Right? So feedback on the finale show will be due by noon, but we'll talk about that later. David and I are each taking some vacation time to do the show just for you. We're not going to tell you who the guest is. Our patrons know, but we're not going to tell you who the guest is until next week. We're going to announce it next week. And there you go. So it's time for Oh, David, what a day. It is time for some Survivor talk. And I've got some interesting things. I have an initial thought, David. Do you have an initial thought?
I have a whole page because I wrote it out so I wouldn't forget them.
Wait, you have a whole page of initial thoughts?
Well, it's only because I wrote out my thoughts so I wouldn't mess up. So go ahead and get yours out of the way. Because
I have an initial thought and then a whole bunch of things to talk about. All right. Mike K is actually giving a definition of riddle because that's more important than our intention, right? Our intention of a riddle is not important, David. It's what Merriam-Webster says it is.
That's probably the riddle, is what is the definition of riddle?
Yes. A question or statement intentionally phrased so as to require ingenuity in ascertaining its answer or meaning, typically presented as a game. And what you don't know is Mike actually wrote that definition. All right, here's my initial thought. And I think this is incredibly exciting. With alliances about as strong and dependable as a boat made out of toilet paper, gone are the days of groups pagonging other groups. It's just over. Even in the preview for next week, it's like alliance this, alliance that, gone. I'm going over here. I'm going over there. New alliances are forming every single week. I don't even think you can call them alliances. I think you maybe just call them, junior high relationships or something. You know what I mean?
Right.
So,
like they were once called voting blocks and trust clusters. They're temporary. They're not long term.
Yeah, which I like. And
so, go ahead.
Well, one of the main reasons I like it, Oh, I'm sorry. It's crazy. One of the main reasons why I like it is because we don't have 5, 6 episodes in a row where we all know what's going to happen.
Right.
Right?
Exactly. Yep.
We don't know because everybody's going everywhere. And I think it's great. I love it.
So do you think, do you think if Debbie hadn't gone Debbie last week, Sarah might have stayed with that strong alliance and we'd be getting somewhat of a Pagani?
No.
You think it was more than just Debbie?
Well, Sarah's whole attitude is, I'm going to go with whoever. See, there's no loyalty. It's, we're playing the game now, and we're not just doing loyalty.
Yeah, see, I think that's the big difference in the alliances, at least from what we're seeing. They're making the Brad, Sierra, Troyzan alliance out to be a sit back and vote by the numbers, whereas it seems more enticing for Sarah. If she wants to win, she needs to play against the players, the people that are standing out, and that's Sari, Andrea, and Zeke. Yeah. So if you want to show your hand at the end and show how you got there, you got to go against the strong players, at least from what we're seeing as the strong players, which is one of my initial thoughts, in that if Andrea, Sari, or Sarah don't win, then this will be one of the worst edited seasons of Survivor. Because, this will be Andrea, Sari, and Sarah. The three people getting like the majority of the edit right now. Yeah. As in, who else is even playing? Who else is even there? I don't think Ty's had a confessional in like 3 months, and Troyzan got one because he won an immunity challenge. So
you know what they do with Ty? It's like every once in a while they have to remind us that he has 2 idols, because unfortunately no other idols can be in the game because he's hiding them in his pants.
Exactly.
So they just like, I have 2 idols, and they go on to something else.
Right. Because if one of those 3 don't win, this is going to be a really bad edited season, because we'll have an under the radar winner. Because if Brad or Sierra or Troyzan or even Ty wins, people will be left feeling like it was a weak season because they didn't see much strategy from these folks.
Yeah.
So what we have seen is a by the book game plan from those 4, and from the others, buckets of strategy and deceit and scheming. I mean, that's what we're getting from Andrea, Sari, especially Sarah, and Zeke. So if one of those 3 left don't win, it's going to be as if the finale falls flat to me. So, and that's unfortunate, because I know those other people are playing.
Right.
We know we're just not seeing it.
They didn't really show Zeke playing hard, though.
Zeke has been playing hard. He just hasn't been playing well.
But
I think Zeke's been wanting to make moves. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Zeke's been wanting to make moves. He talked about in one of his exit interviews that people just stopped talking to him after his Varner tribal council. It's almost like he realized he was going to be going soon, because people didn't want to go to the end with him. Oh, yeah. So I think Zeke's been in a lot of conversations. How many conversations have we seen with Brad and Troyzan and Ty, like we've seen with Zeke and them? He's been on the end of conversations, but it's because he's been the target. They're worried about him. They've kind of cut him off. But still, he's got more than anybody else.
I guess what I'm saying is, we see Andrea scheming and talking and figuring out things. We say Officer Sarah doing the same thing. Wait, did I say Sarah twice? I meant Andrea and Sarah.
You said Andrea and Sarah.
And then we see Sari doing the same thing. We haven't really seen Zeke, pursuing things and doing things recently. So I guess I'm sure he was playing, but they're showing us those 3 specifically.
See, I disagree, because Zeke went to Brad and Troyzan and tried to start a new group last night. Okay. All right. And I think in weeks past we have, but I really think it's now on Sari, Andrea, and Sarah to win. One of those 3 needs to win. So, go ahead.
Well, and what's interesting is, you've got it's like you just cut off the manhood of Brad and Troyzan and that whole group, because here they were, rawr, 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 and now they're like, woo, 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 right? So you got Brad and Troyzan just grabbing onto whatever they can. Sierra doing the same thing. It's just interesting to watch.
Just to answer Matt's question, what moves had Zeke made this season? It feels like he's been a non-entity. I would agree. He's tried to make moves, but nothing that's been successful. Right. The move he tried to make was to blindside Andrea. That was his big move. I think he tried to make once time finally came. Before then, he hasn't had much to do, but that was his big move that I think spelled the end of his game.
Well, No, I'm sorry. Well, he did say, at the end of the Survivor episode, which I watched at 2:00 in the morning because I wasn't going to have time to do anything today. He did say, it's good she got me because I was going after her, Right. So he was playing, and like you said, they showed a little bit of it. But I guess since he went out, they didn't show as much as they're showing of the others. In my
And see, this is why we got to 300 episodes, because you just transitioned into my next initial thought, which is Chapter 2 of David's Rules of Survivor, which I had to Google because I forgot what I called them since it's been so long ago.
Wait, hold on. You can actually Google David's Rules of Survivor and it shows up?
It did. It was like the 8th thing.
David,
and it was
arrived.
It was, I know, I was on the front page of Google.
Where,
it was,
I mean, where was that even? I mean, like, where was that listed?
I looked up David's Rules of Survivor, and it was like the 8th or 9th link was my blog about Boston Rob's rules versus John Cochran's rules.
That's awesome, David.
I know. I couldn't believe it was actually there. Hey, it took 300 episodes for me to Google myself. But yeah, it came up.
Nice.
So,
your blog wasn't any good.
Yeah, no kidding. Cass hated it. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Chapter 2 of David's Rules of Survivor and the catchphrase of Sergeant Stanislav Stan Jablonski: let's do it to them before they do it to us.
Yes.
Whether you feel Andrea is an idiot like Debbie does or not like me, she was number 2 on Zeke's boot list. So I think Andrea completely made the right move at the right time. She's got a lot of work to do now, but she was going to be next if Zeke had his way and Sierra had gone this time. So, and Sarah too. So of course the problem now for Andrea is that she had 2 people voting with her that did not want to vote with her, and they will most likely turn on her and Mama Suri.
Right. Well, see that,
but I'm all about doing it to them before they do it to you.
Right. And you bring up, well, it brought up a thought in my mind. Yeah, Andrea was in control then, or she thought she was, because Sarah really pretty much decided what was going to happen. But next week it could be totally different. Like it's like you're only in control for a very short amount of time, and then man, you better be on top of your game to keep it.
And it's funny because that's the flip of what you said earlier, as in you love how there's no pagonging. There's all this shuffling. The deck gets reshuffled all the time, but when you reshuffle the deck, suddenly you got a lot more work to do.
Well, yeah, true.
Sometimes it feels good to sit with 6 people and just vote out 4 people as they go.
Well, yeah. I mean, that would be the smarter thing to do, right?
Right.
I'm glad they're not doing the smarter thing.
Exactly. Yeah, it'd be less entertaining. You're right. We would have 3 or 4 episodes of ping, 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 whatever.
Yeah.
And go on from there.
I don't know. I just, I think part of it has to do with they all know they're good players and they don't want to be at the bottom, And they're all trying to make sure they are in control so that they don't end up at the bottom of a 4 or 5.
I think Sarah's doing a good job of trying not to appear in control, but she flat out took all the credit for that vote last week right at the beginning of the episode. So she's like, that's on me. I did that. So when you guys vote at the end, remember I started this whole thing that stirred this whole pot and got you to here.
Yeah.
So if I had my baloney meter on, which I did for this episode, once it got off 0, it never would have gone back down, because I heard this all episode from the baloney that was being spewed by all these players, especially Tribal Council. I've got 0 notes at Tribal Council because 90% of what they said was a lie.
Yeah,
was not truth. I'm like, are you kidding me? Can we just vote? Let's just vote.
Yeah.
So, let's see. Multi-season players like Andrea and Suri, and players as smart as multi-season players like Aubrey and Zeke to a degree, have no problem moving against their own if they feel it saves their game. But then you got single season players like Brad, Troyzan, Tybe, Sierra. I think still believe in the idea of a trusted alliance, that you don't turn on people until you have to.
Yeah, well, guess what? That's not working.
No, it's not. Well, it's not working because they lost one.
Right. It works as long as you're in control, but as soon as one of those other people grabs one of yours,
right,
you're up a creek.
I got one more short one, real short one. If a challenge starts with a schoolyard pick and the challenge ends with a puzzle, pick the puzzle king of your season first.
That's right.
Don't worry about the physical part of the challenge, because the puzzle is the great equalizer.
Yes. How many times have we said that?
I've just added that rule to the David's Rules of Survivor.
Yeah.
So
somewhere I wrote that up here.
You probably wrote it at the reward challenge.
Well, no, I put a whole bunch of points. Oh yeah. A huge example of a puzzle making all the effort totally unnecessary.
Yeah,
you know what
exactly.
I mean, if I was out there, I would be so tempted to just go, y'all, let's just relax and go through it. But you don't know how hard the puzzle's going to be. And that was, that was a pretty good puzzle.
Oh, it was.
Pretty
That was
different.
really big.
Yeah. So anyway, back to something you were saying, that whole Andrea versus Zeke thing.
Yeah.
Definitely real. One of the things she says, he's not he used to be my BFF,
Yeah.
So definitely real. But anyway, on that reward challenge, I really like that one where they're going all up in the, thing. And I'm always going, I'm remembering when I was a kid and you'd be on a teeter-totter and the other guy would jump off and you'd land on your butt and break your tailbone.
Yes.
Yeah, I just kept expecting it. And then Probst goes, drop her. And I went, no, don't drop her.
Oh, yeah. So my question on that is, if Michaela and Zeke just did this challenge,
yes,
why weren't they being leaders in this challenge like Zeke did, but Michaela didn't? All she did was yell at Ty, because Ty was supposed to be the one looking back to see where people were and where the next number was.
Yeah.
Poor communication. Why wouldn't Michaela have taken the lead in that?
Yeah.
So that was my question.
Yeah. I don't have an answer for that, David.
Okay. Let's go to night 26 then.
Oh, Brad is no longer comfortable.
High to low. How many times have you heard that?
Yeah.
I was high, now I'm low.
Later on in the show, sure does feel mighty good to go on that reward.
Yeah, it does.
With 4 other people
that he doesn't know.
That's
right. Never worked
in his group.
That's right.
And I know I'm jumping way ahead, but surely he only wore that flower because he needed to get into their good graces.
Oh, yeah. Everybody's wearing flowers. Yep, me too.
I don't think you'd ever see him wearing a flower. But anyway, so this is where we get. So obviously, Sarah needs to admit that she flipped, because in about 2 minutes, everybody's going to figure it out anyway.
Yeah, or else, and if not, then somebody else is going to get credit for it. So she wants to get out there and take credit for it.
Yeah.
But then we get Sierra asking a really good question. Okay, you got me and you got Brad. Why Debbie? Why did you vote Debbie? And we get Zeke's answer. Because she seemed like she was in charge. No. Because she seemed like the one y'all wouldn't play an idol for. Is what she seemed like.
Yeah.
And that's what Sarah wanted gone.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, how many times can we use the phrase game changers?
Oh my gosh.
In this season?
I wish they'd never told him the title.
And you know what? We've been watching 33 seasons of Survivor before this one. Yeah. Never heard the word game changer.
No.
Probably. And all of a sudden, everybody seems to think that's a very appropriate word.
You know, it's
even during normal camp life conversation, right?
Yes.
Wow. Oh my gosh. My son just walked in, scared me out of my mind. Your 2 Christian character awards.
I was going to show them to you.
Well, show them to me. Let me see them. Come over here.
For those in the audio podcast,
Dwayne
is looking at awards that Timothy got. Hey, Timothy.
I'm the better looking half.
Christian Character Award. There you go. And this is not it's a good award. So, wow, you're tall. Get out of here. All right. Pride comes before the fall. What was I saying, David?
Game changer.
Yeah, game changer. Thank you, Timothy.
Bruce said that's 13 letters. I think game changers is only 12 letters.
Well, I don't know. Who cares? Oh, someone wrote that in the chat room. Then I do care.
Yeah.
Bruce. Well, but I mean, even during normal course of conversation, right? So like the camera's on you. So you're like, wow, that was a big game changer move.
Yes, exactly. I think the cameramen are wearing it on their t-shirts. Don't forget to mention game changers. But you know what the best one was the silent jury who got the last word. And it was the best word when Haley said, game changers. And Debbie goes, no, idiots.
Yeah.
That was my favorite. I love that.
Yeah. Well, Debbie's a little feisty girl, isn't she? I really need to go watch your Ponderosa video.
Yeah. That one's interesting. I want to go watch Zeke's. I haven't watched Zeke's yet.
Yeah, David, I haven't had time to watch them. I've taken on a whole new position in addition to my current position, and I haven't had time. So
before we go to the reward challenge, I want to read Cerie's comment. And it was a great, I know a lot about Survivor. I know what to say. I'm going to give you a great tagline right now. And it's, we took control from Sierra and Brad, but in Survivor, there is never any rest. You have to keep watching. And if you aren't watching, watching. It only takes a second, and next thing you know, you're sitting on the jury. I've kind of paraphrased. I didn't get it word for word, but it's a great line about Survivor, and it just basically says, "I know that we're not in control."
Right.
Whereas if Debbie had said that last week, she might still be in the game. But
Right.
she didn't. She was in conquer.
You were talking about Sierra, right?
Suri.
Oh, Suri. Okay, because
Sorry, I may have said the wrong name, but yes,
no,
Suri.
no, because I was thinking of Sierra, and their names are so darn close.
One of them needs to go. They need.
Yeah. Well, Suri, when you hear Suri talk, she very wise Survivor knowledge.
She sounds like a teacher.
Yeah.
She speaks like a professor or a teacher or something. She's really smart.
Yeah. You know, I do feel like she made a mistake. Let's see. Where did I write that? Yeah. So Andrea and Suri have no idea. Now, I know this is later on in the show, but I don't care. Have no idea that Officer Sarah has very specific plans for Zeke, right?
Mm-hmm.
So Andrea and Suri are talking like, we can get out, you know, Zeke. Da, 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 da. And so what does Suri do? She breaks a cardinal rule. What the heck? You don't bring up Zeke's name to Sarah. You let Sarah bring it up.
Right.
Or try to get her to bring it up.
Because she never was.
No.
Never.
But still, so you play it, and if you can't get her to bring it up, then leave it alone. Because if you bring it up, it's just gonna hurt you.
Exactly. You gotta know who you're talking to and who they're close with. Have they not seen Sarah wear Zeke's jacket? Were they not paying attention to what the cast said?
Right.
You watch who's wearing what jacket.
If they just listen to our show.
I know, in the middle of the season, 8 months ago.
Well, since you mentioned that, and I was thinking of Sierra, I loved how, and I loved how Sierra, when she knows she's in trouble, goes and finds Andrea and Suri at the well.
Right.
And just like, look, whatever you need, I will do whatever you need. Just whatever.
Yeah, and she didn't take a troop with her. She took just herself. And I loved her verification idea was, I will sign my vote so that you see I voted the way you told me to vote.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah. So let's talk about the reward challenge.
You know, there's something, I'm sorry to cut you off, but there's something I wish they would do for these challenges that they do at the Durham Warrior Survival Challenge, is that they announce the name of the challenge. These challenges all have names, and they are great names.
They're very
creative names. And Proch just says, all right, here's what we're going to do. You're going to run, and you're going to jump, and you're going to throw, and you're going to fix a puzzle.
All right.
Where's the name? Come on.
Even if they just put it on the screen, for crying out loud.
Yeah, hashtag it or something. Yeah.
If I'm the guy, if I'm the creative guy that had to come up with the names of these things, I would not be happy that it's only seen on YouTube and only in the United States. I
would be the same way. No, I just wish they would. I think that'd be so cool. All right, today's challenge is called Bucket of Blood. You know, whatever you want to call it. And then then they're like, oh no. And then they start looking.
Bucket of Blood, Survivor, Walking Dead.
Only one of you will be Carrie. That's right.
When you're voted off, you become a zombie and attack the tribes.
You can eat at Ponderosa. That's right.
Here's our next challenge, Bucket of Blood. Whoever can drain the last person's blood that was voted out first wins reward.
Last person bleeding wins.
Yes. All right. Anyway. So so first of all, yes, we've already talked about it. It's so darn, that's just, what the heck? I'm not recording? How am I not recording?
Oh, you're kidding. It's just the two of us. We're going to have a perfect audio, and now you're not recording.
That's weird, though, because it says it's recording.
Guess we'll find out in 2 hours.
It was recording. I just stopped it.
What? Did you really?
Hold on. I'm going to start another one. All right.
I guess we're cutting that out.
All right. So it
you know, just to mention what you said, Vader Girl caught what you said, and she said on Walking Dead they do refer to the living as survivors.
See, there you go.
How far have you read into those books?
There's 3 of them sitting right here. I haven't read them in a while.
Did you start reading them?
Yeah, I got about halfway through number 1, and it was really good. I really should start reading them again.
For a black and white comic, it's amazingly good that it keeps you stirred in, especially the last. I'm all caught up to the latest live comics. I'm past those 3 into the next few. So I'm way past the show, and it's amazing.
All right. I am going to make sure I take that out. Well, see, I'm reading desperation.
Bruce said, now there'll be a conspiracy theories of the missing minutes of the podcast.
That's right. That's when The Walking Dead came into my room and changed me into a zombie.
Yes.
All right. So anyway, so Ty was basically useless in this challenge.
You're right, because he's supposed to be calling out up and down, and he couldn't do. Why would you give the guy that speaks broken English the job of calling out directions?
Yeah, we're just not even. Yeah, we're not.
Although I guess Michaela was more of a strength pulling, and she needed somebody that wasn't as strong to actually call out numbers.
But ultimately, the challenge is the puzzle. All the rest of it's just fluff. Opportunities for people to break their legs, right?
Yes.
That's all that was. And then you have the puzzle, and 30 minutes go by. 40 minutes go by, and Probst finally just goes, you know what, guys? Oh, I actually wrote something down. Hold on. Go ahead. Say something.
No, I'm just, it was almost frustrating. It was almost like hurry up and wait. It was that kind of a challenge. Because don't forget to the end. I did love, though, how people were writing in the dirt. They were trying to come up with words. Because this was, I guess after 50 minutes, Probst was like, you guys just aren't getting this, are you?
Yeah.
Okay, let me give you a long, drawn-out clue. And good on Andrea for finally coming up with the word.
I had written this really cool hint that Probst could have said about Albert Einstein. What would Albert Einstein have done to change this game or something? You know, he gets so desperate that he basically tells them what the puzzle is.
Is he an inventor? I thought Edison would be more of a.
Oh, such an idiot.
Sorry, did I mess up your joke?
No, I messed up my own joke by saying it wrong. Didn't Albert Einstein invent something?
He came up with the theory.
E equals MC squared.
Yeah, something like that.
Which I have no idea what that means, but I'm sure it's important.
Mike K will in about 3 seconds. So
yeah, Mike K's looking it up as we speak. Right.
Yes. No, he probably knows that.
Anyway, so word puzzles. I like that. First thing you do when you see a word puzzle is you go for, this is Dwaine's rules, number 365,432. You look for the prefixes and suffixes, especially on long words, right? Like,
oh, you try to find the letters for prefixes.
Yeah, I mean, okay, so what are some possible endings of words? ED is a possible ending. ING is a very possible ending, especially since it's a phrase. So that's probably going to be the verb right there.
It's an action. Yeah, it's an acting.
Yeah,
action,
that whole action thing. So, you know, if you can do that, then you eliminate 3 letters and you kind of get yourself going. And then you try to figure out that first word. What are words that end with ing that are that long? You know, and once you get that done, you can do the rest of the puzzle. Puzzle becomes more easy.
What? Yes. So I work on the short words first, but I get what you're saying. That's a good. That's a very complex thought. So, that's,
but here's the problem with doing short words. A 3-letter word, the, and, but, him, her. I mean, there's thousands of them. You know,
man, you really come up with a lot of 3-letter words at the drop of a hat.
And how about some 4-letter words, David?
I got one for you.
Yeah.
But that's right. Metamorphosis doesn't end in ing or ed. Good job, Bruce.
But it starts with meta, which is a prefix.
It does.
Morphosis, meta. And that's what Haley did.
Yeah.
If you go back and watch it, I'm pretty sure Haley was like meta.
Yeah, she did. And and Zeke did have game. He figured out game was already in it and working from there. So different things in it. But I loved all the words. And all of them were right. Nutritional is a good word. They made Tarzan look kind of silly, but hey, it's a reward. Something's got to be nutritional.
And it's also 11 letters.
Yeah, when winning becomes nutritional, you know.
Yeah, but it made it look like he was stupid. Is it nutritional?
She just turned it didn't acknowledge.
Nutritional, 11 words. Which my initial thought was, well, it must not be 11 words because they wouldn't have done that. And then you just think about it, and it's 11 words. So why did they do that? Why did they show Troyzan do that? I don't know. Yeah. Anyway, I would look for those prefixes and suffixes. David would look for the short words first, and I would win the challenge. There you go. So how about that reward? Woo!
I'm sorry. I'm calling baloney on you. You would win the challenge, but go ahead.
Oh, hey.
You'd still be in the netting. What are you talking about?
All right. So
I would have just run through the fence. I wouldn't jump on.
Yeah, really. So I like the reward. Number one, they're greeted with Tropicana orange juice,
Bula.
which is
Bula.
really amazing.
Yes. I
Something
posted
tells
some
me that
pictures. Oh,
there
sorry.
may have been something else in the orange juice. I don't know. But I
To
saw a
liven
tool.
things up just a little bit. Yeah.
I saw a toolbox nearby.
I posted some pictures of that resort in our Facebook group. That is an amazing resort, and they got to spend the night.
Yeah, now they didn't show us all that cool stuff. You posted those pictures, and I didn't see all that.
What's there? They didn't show much. They just showed the meal. I mean, that's all they really showed. They didn't show anything else. Showers and stuff, and people running around streaking or anything. They didn't show any of that stuff.
Well, and you remember the days when they would like, oh my gosh, a shower and a bed, and they would do all that. I guess they're kind of like, yeah, okay, we're kind of past that.
But that's kind of cool. I don't want to see that stuff. I want to hear them talking about. I want to see them bonding and see people getting nervous at them bonding. And I love what they bonded over, which tells me Brad already knew that Zeke was an Oklahoma Sooner fan.
Right.
I mean, you don't just suddenly bring that out because he didn't see his season, so they must have talked previously that he was a Sooner fan.
Well, what was I say? Oh, I don't know. Oh, the food looked good. I know you're wanting to talk about football, but the food looked good. And one thing I liked about it was that it wasn't a bunch of, I mean, there was some stuff that's going to make them sick, but there was also some stuff that isn't going to make them sick. But hey, if you're going to get sick, you might as well do it at a resort.
Hey, just eat the protein and carbs. Forget the sugar and the cheesecake and the stuff that you're going to regret later.
Exactly. Eat the protein and carbs. Lots of bread, lots of meat, and enjoy it. And drink a lot of water. And see, and that's what happens. People get on these rewards and they drink a ton of soft drinks or they drink a bunch of beer and things like that. And that's not doing anything for you.
It makes you dehydrate you.
Yeah. Totally wasted. In fact, if it's got caffeine in it, it's drying you out even more.
Yeah, remember the challenges were sponsored by 7-Up or sponsored by Mountain Dew. I wonder if medical said, what are you idiots doing? You're dehydrating them even more by giving them this stuff. So stop. They would kill for a cold bottle of water right now.
Yeah. You know what? Give me a 24-pack of Dasani water and I will be your slave.
No, thank you. I'll give you one and you don't have to be my slave.
It's like that, you don't come here for the hunting, do you? But I won't tell you that, Joe.
I know that joke.
All I want is some water. Give me some Dasani water.
That was the bear, wasn't it?
Yes.
You don't come for the
you don't come here for the hunting, do you? But no, seriously though. I mean, look, what am I drinking right now? Dasani water. I don't know why I love it so much, but my goodness, I love it. I love it so much. And if I'm out, and you know how they say pizza, and everybody goes, "Oh." If you say pizza to me when I haven't eaten pizza in 21 days, I'm thinking if I eat that slice of pizza, I'm going to be in the ocean for 4 hours. You know, it's going to be a colon cleanse.
About that. Well, so I think that's hard for us to guess. You would eat it, but that's hard. I understand what you're saying because you're thinking that way. But 21 days into the game, I think your brain would just say, eat.
Well, yeah, I'm saying I would eat it, but I would also be like begging me for some water. I would be more excited about the water.
That's why I cried a little bit when they lost that pizza. I was kind of sad. But Cass confronted it last week. Any big meals like that, you're going to pay for later. So,
Yeah.
But
that's what the cameraman
Zeke just made. Yeah, exactly. Zeke just made another statement that's so cliche Survivor. And to me, that's what he and Sari are doing. They're just giving good lines. And I think that's probably why they're getting camera time. Zeke says playing Survivor is like climbing Mount Everest. It just gets harder as you go up.
Yeah.
Okay. And I don't mean to call him Captain Obvious or anything, but yeah, I mean, that's a good line. It does get harder. It should get harder. As you get closer to the end, it should get harder.
Right.
We already talked about them bonding over football. Go ahead.
He got some airtime, so.
He did. Exactly. And Andrea's worried about it here. Aubrey's going to worry about it later. Although if she had seen season 33, she'd know that football holds no sway when it comes to voting out your buddies. Because he voted out Chris right after that.
So I got one thing to say. It was still at the reward, except kind of the other end of it. So do you have anything else to say in the reward itself other than Andrea? I mean, do you want to say anything about Andrea talking about Zeke?
No.
Okay. So camp life. When the other 5, what they're doing. They're getting showers. They are living it up. And you're back at camp starving to death. Hot, tired, miserable. It just makes camp life even more miserable. And then everybody walks in the next morning.
Yeah. While they're pushing around smoky coals.
Yeah. Oh, nice to have y'all back. So I got 2 comments about that.
Okay.
What the heck good is it to get to stay at a resort if they make you get up at 5 a.m?
Yeah.
You know, let
That's
me
a
sleep.
good question. That's a good question. How long did they get to sleep?
Yeah. Let me sleep in. Those people around camp looked like they had just gotten up, or they still had the tired look.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and out there, it's not waking up at 8 o'clock and you got the tired look. That sun comes up and you're waking up. You know, that's why Connie, my wife, keeps the blinds open a little bit at night. Once we turn off the lights, so opens up the blinds a little bit, angled down, so when that sun starts hitting her, it helps her to wake up in the morning.
Oh,
meanwhile, I have
no.
a mask
Terry
on.
would paint the windows black. She would not open blinds for the sun.
Right.
I turn on the bathroom light in the morning at 4:55, and she's like, "Can you turn it off, please?"
Yeah.
I gotta take a shower, honey. Take it in the dark. Just turn the light off. I'm like, "You're looking the other way. Just turn the light off."
So my point is, at camp, they're going to wake up, break of dawn, or before. But when you're in a resort and you're in a closed room, and it is nice and dark in there, and Survivor Production comes in and goes, "It's 4:30. We need to get up so we can be ready for the camera crew at the camp because they're already getting up and making a fire."
Yep.
You're like, what kind of reward was this? I went to bed at 2 a.m. and you're waking me up at 4. So anyway, but how awkward is it if you are the rewardees coming back into camp because you don't want to say anything, you know?
Right.
Because you've seen players in the past do some really stupid things.
Yeah. Yep.
So anyway,
because somebody, I think Troyzan asked how was something that they ate.
Yeah, and I would be like, it was good. So what did y'all do? You know, I would try to deflect it as quickly as possible.
I would say I already got rid of it on the boat on the way back here. I don't even have it in my stomach anymore. They'd say good.
Oh man.
So,
so let's see.
On the morning of day 28, production got together and had a little powwow, had a little meeting.
Yeah.
And they said, you know, we got little Steven over there taking notes about confessionals and what confessionals we're using. And we just realized that Sierra and Ty and Troyzan have like single-digit confessionals. We really need to do some catch up with Sierra, Troyzan, and Ty because we've got hundreds of confessionals from the other folks. So we need to have something. Sierra, tell us what you're thinking right now. How do you feel? Well, I feel like I'm on the bottom and I need something to happen. Okay, got it. Cut. That's good. We got something good from Sierra. Let's move on to Ty and Troyzan. Hey, can y'all just like have a conversation on the beach because we have nothing else filming we want to use of you?
And I actually wrote down Ty and Troyzan are just saying the things that they need to say.
Yes.
You know, I mean, it'd be like, hey, David, why don't you come over? Oh, yeah, you know, that would probably be a good idea. We'll have to do that sometime. Yeah, okay, I'll see you later. Nobody's going over to anybody's house.
No.
And that's exactly what that conversation was like.
I hate to pick because I know these guys are playing. We've already said this. We know Sierra. We know even Ty. We know Troyzan is playing. But it's like Troyzan sits down beside Ty and they look at each other. Look, what do we want to talk about?
Yeah.
Can you guys talk about something? We don't really know what to talk about. And Troyzan goes, I wonder if there's idols out here.
Ty goes, have you seen the back of my pants?
The cameraman goes, okay, can you put that in the form of a statement question? But I loved what he said. It finally got around to Ty saying, you know, I feel doomed. Last night I feel bad last night. I just feel like for the first time in my time of playing Survivor, I'm in trouble because he made it to the end last time. But he says for the first, you know, Ty, tell us how you feel. For the first time, I feel in trouble. And I love what Troyzan said. Dude, we're still here. We can't do anything from Ponderosa, but we're still here. The game is still going on, and we're still in it. And they have the conversation that you have with somebody else that's on the bottom. Hey, Dwaine, if my name comes up, can you tell me? And if your name comes up, I'll tell you.
Right.
So
again,
yeah.
What am I going to do? Say no to that?
Right. Exactly.
Although we have seen players do that.
And I was like, yes, we have. We have seen players do that. And I was like, surely these guys are talking about working with people, talking to people. No, they're just talking about being on the bottom. Like, really? Could you give these guys any worse of an edit? And I am a little biased here. I like Sierra. I think she's funny. I like Brad. I pull for him because of his age. He's a dad. And Ty's a sweet little guy. And I'm friends with Troyzan. So yeah, I'm a little biased, but show me something that they're doing. I know they're not sitting around waiting to be voted out. It's just frustrating. So one of these women better win, or they're gonna shoot themselves in the foot with this edit. Say, man, I wish we talked to these other guys more. Found out what they were working on. That's just frustrating. Sorry, that's just me. I'll get off my soapbox now.
No, I mean, there you go. Get on the soapbox all you want. Just make sure it's a very sturdy soapbox.
It's a steel soapbox.
Yeah. So
steel.
Awkward. Andrea's continuing to play hard, and she wants Zeke out. Now, what about? So she does all that, and then I guess, is that when she sends Sari to go talk to Sarah?
Right before she does, she says, you don't want to be the one throwing out names. So let Sari do it. Let Sari go to Sarah and throw out Zeke's thing again.
Yeah. So Sarah tells Sari about her stealing a vote, and she didn't say this. She not only gets to have an extra vote, she takes away someone else's vote. That's like 3 votes. And she didn't say it like that, but
right. 3 votes sway. Yeah.
Why is she telling Sari this?
Because she wants to gain Sari's trust. And I think that's one of Sari's great strengths. And that while earlier on, Andrea and Michaela and Zeke were having a quick little powwow post Debbie vote, like, this is great. This is good. And Andrea's like telling them, hey, I'm good with this bam, bam, bam threesome right here. No, that was baloney. She's not good with that. But anyway, it's like, what do you say when you're sitting with 2 people that want to work with you? Yes, I'm all in. And then here comes Mama Sari and gives them cheek kisses for the great job they did, at that vote. She almost like she says, hey, I see you guys talking privately. Let me just come in there and pat you guys on the head for doing a good job and see if I can pick up what you're saying. Yeah. So but Sari has this charisma, I think, that people want to work with her. Yeah. At some point they're going to see how dangerous she is. She doesn't have the Sandra vibe of she's a queen, she's a champ, she's won, she's going to beat us if she gets there. She's got the Sari thing going on where she's very emotional. She had a very emotional pickup last week with that challenge. She's lost almost every reward challenge. So she's not helped her team out at all, according to her. And she's probably gone on about that to build a little, I'm not a threat, keep me in the game. And she's a nice person. And Sarah needs people besides Zeke. Zeke is in trouble, and she knows this. And I think Sarah needs to tag on to a few other people, work with them. So she does. I'm not sure it was a great idea, but she revealed to Sari as a point of vote of confidence, trust me, I'm trusting you with this information, so trust me. And she shared it with her. I'm not sure it was a good idea. Sari is a very smart person. I
think it was also to try to get Sari off of Zeke, right? Because she was saying, I have a plan for Zeke.
Right. I have a backup plan.
Yeah, I have a backup plan for Zeke. We don't need to get rid of him right now. I have a backup plan. Sari's not buying it. So Sarah's like, okay, part of my backup plan is this. So trust me. Yeah. Let's not go after Zeke, because I have this. Let me try to get you going another direction.
Right.
So I think she was also using it as a tool to try to get Sari off of Zeke. So that's kind of where I'm at on that.
I wrote a little note right before that scene of Andrea and Sari are playing like old friends. And thanks to Survivor, they likely are. So there's nothing wrong with that. I just believe that they are only being truthful with each other. It seems like their conversations are very on point, blunt. Who do we need? Who do we got to get? They say the right things to everyone else, but they are deadly honest with each other, knowing they are both marked as seasoned multi-time players. I mean, it's just funny that we got this alliance of second chancers and we got alliance of multi-time players. Nobody's really crossing lines here right so far.
But at the same time, David, in the show tomorrow, if it suits Andrea or Sari better to go a different direction, they would.
Oh, yeah. If Andrea finds herself talking to a group that all wants to put Sari out and they got the numbers, she's going against Sari. Absolutely.
Right. Yeah.
Yep. Absolutely.
Now, Sarah at the end of this segment starts talking about she'll jump ship wherever she needs to go. She's just going to jump ship.
Yeah, let the plans develop and then she'll pick a side.
Yeah. See, I'm not sure because in the past, although this is a different game because of all the switching up that's going on, maybe that is a good idea now. It wasn't a good idea whenever, alliances were so strong. I don't know. Maybe it is a
I
good
think
idea.
you're right. I think you're right in the sense that this is a different game because these people have a little more hesitation towards each other. But I think Sarah has relationships. I think she's close to Sierra. She was obviously close to Zeke. I think we're going to find out she's this week. We found out she's close to Michaela. Not close, but they had a good conversation towards the end.
Right.
And I think that's what Sarah's relying on more than she did in Kagayan. She may not have had the relationships like she has in this season.
Right.
Whereas, look, I'll save you, but we might have to vote out Ty. She
Yeah.
says that to Sierra. She'll say, "Hey, I'll save you, Michaela, but we might have to vote out Sari."
Right.
So I understand what you're asking because that's a very dangerous strategy because people are going to pick up on that you're just flipping to the numbers, and that's going to get you voted out like it did in Kagayan. But I think this season, one thing she's done different is the relationships.
Unless people view what Sarah's doing as not flipping to get the numbers, but she's on top of the numbers and people are flipping to go to her. Does that make sense?
It does, but I'm not sure I buy it because you get to be on top of the numbers. You have to have numbers. And if she's flipping to the numbers, she doesn't have numbers. She might have a plan or offering her vote.
I'm saying she makes it look like the appearance is that, this could be the case, that the appearance might be, yeah, she's kind of floating around, but people think that she's the one that's controlling it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Well, let me ask you this. Last week, Sarah aligned with Sierra, Brad, Troy, and Ty, Debbie, agreeing to vote out Andrea, I think it was. And at the last minute, she flipped and voted out Debbie. Right. That group left shocked and confused that she did that. This week, Sarah votes out one of her own in that alliance of 6.
Yeah.
So what if I see Sarah now after these last 2 tribals? I'm thinking, who in the world is she going to vote for this time?
Right.
That's not somebody I trust. I'd want to vote her out. You keep flipping back and forth, and you're showing she's the one that flipped on Debbie. Nobody else flipped on Debbie. It was just Sarah. And here Sarah's flipped again on somebody she just temporarily aligned with. In fact, it was one of her closest people. You had to know how close they were. She's wearing his jacket. They probably slept near each other. And then she just turned on this guy.
Well, the only advantage she has, though, is that it wasn't her idea. Okay? She could have stood firm in her thing and then just alienated herself from the people that wanted Zeke out. But instead of fighting for that hill, she decided to give that hill away and to go with them. So she's still good with them because she did what they wanted to do. So it doesn't alienate her.
Well, no, I totally agree with that. I totally agree. She went with Andrea and Sierra and Sari and Aubrey to keep that number of 5 because you're right. It was either go with this other group and be on the bottom or stick with this group where she might have a little more control.
Right.
So I totally agree. That's why she did it.
Yeah.
But if what we see in next week on where her and Michaela are talking to, or it's actually Michaela's talking to Sierra and Troyzan and Ty, and there's a new pack coming where Sarah switches back to get rid of Andrea or Sari because she sees how strong they are, she's going to be at the bottom of that group. I'm not giving a result for her to do or suggesting that she should go, but I just think she's walking a tightrope going back and forth.
Okay. That's true, but you're kind of always on a tightrope, but I see what you're saying. I don't need to repeat what I said.
Well, no, you're right but Brad, Sierra, Ty, and Troyzan are on one side of the tightrope, and Sari and Andrea are on the other side. Aubrey's put herself on the other side. Sarah's playing the middle, and she might have Michaela.
But I kind of felt like Sarah was in control, and they knew that. But then she gives up that control at this time to help them so she can have control again later.
Right.
So anyway.
But at the same time, with somebody like Sari's got that graph in her head that she said is always moving. She's keeping track.
Yeah.
She's keeping track of who's getting the right number of votes, who's voting right, who's voting wrong. And that's going to count. They're going to come to head at some point. Sari and Sarah will not go to the end together.
Right. Okay. So day 29 musically, and I know not everybody heard this, but it was just like, This upright bass just going very ominous and urgent, and it just kind of it builds and builds and builds. That song's very good, and then it goes to Sarah and Zeke at the water hole.
Well, yeah,
water well, and I think a very good thing to say on Survivor. And Zeke said it. I have an idea, but I don't want to do it without getting your permission first.
excellent.
It didn't work, but I mean,
That tells me who he wants to work with the most. I mean, that tells me that his bond with Sarah is the one he trusts the most.
right.
And before that, he said that he's feeling handcuffed. He's not getting a good read on people. He's getting nervous about it because his skill set is running around scheming and plotting.
Yeah,
but to me, this is one of his mistakes, in that you've got to be able to adapt. You got to see where you can't do that. There's too many stumbling blocks out there. But you're right. Sarah and Zeke come up with, and it's kind of Sarah. Zeke kind of lets Sarah, I think, dictate it. It's Sierra first, then they'll go back to Andrea, then they'll go back to Ty.
Right.
So it keeps them in the numbers by getting rid of Sierra. Then they can vote out one of their own, like they're about to do to Zeke, and then they can go back and take out another one from the other alliance, another challenge threat.
Yeah. So I wonder what happened, because I mean that wasn't particularly a bad idea. So I wonder why. I mean, something happened that made Sarah.
We'll get it. I think we'll get it in a minute.
Okay. All
We'll
right.
get there.
So we get. I mean, you really want to say anything about Zeke approaching Bradley and Troyzane? I mean, what are Bradley and Troyzane going to say? No, we're waiting for something better.
They're going to say the same thing Sierra did. And it's funny because Brad and Troyzane and Sierra probably had this conversation. Whoever gets approached, say yes, and try to bring in the others. Try to get in the other two of us so that we all do. And they did. They ended up all voting the same way.
Okay.
And then Brad gives a Survivor quote. It will bother me to vote out Ty or Sierra, but make no mistake, I am here to win the game.
Yeah. Are you ready to go to the immunity challenge?
I think I am.
All right. The old domino football challenge. Not only do you have to do football exercises, but you have to put up dominoes while you're doing it.
Mm-hmm. Now,
do you
think it's fair? You hate this challenge?
Well, I would hate to do it.
Yeah.
And no, I don't think it's fair.
Do you think it's fair?
No.
That the ladder racks, whatever you want to call them, were all the same height?
Oh, valid point.
Thank you. Actually, it was in our Facebook group. I apologize for not mentioning his name. It was asked in our Facebook group on the live feed chat. If you ever want to go back and hear some really neat comments, go back and read the live feed chat that Dwaine puts up every Wednesday that people can talk on and not spoil anything because you avoid it. But there's a lot of good questions and comments in there. If you just want to go back and read it, it's almost like a blog unto itself. But it was asked if they wondered if they measured where the ladder racks would go. So I inquired a friend, and the friend told me, not saying they're on this season because this has been done before. They told me that those are all the same height.
Well,
however,
I agree. That's
those
not
things
fair,
are yes. However, those things are super heavy. It takes a good bump to knock those dominoes down.
Yeah, but still, if you're short, you're having to jump higher.
You're right.
Than Sierra, who's 6'5".
Mm-hmm.
It's like, I mean,
yeah, poor Ty.
Well, except for
He
Ty,
just crawled under.
Ty just like hops through it, boing, 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 boing.
Yeah.
But seriously, why not say, okay, we're going to go up 10 inches or 12 inches? Wait,
measure it to your kneecap. Put it at your kneecap level. Then it would be different for different people. They have all their measurements. Just make sure it's at the same body portion as it is for everybody.
Okay.
I don't know. But at the same time, to me, to win this challenge, it takes endurance and patience. And it's an old soccer saying that whichever team is running at the end wins the game.
Yeah.
Excuse me. And that's to me what Andrea was. She went at the same pace at the end as she did at the beginning.
Right. But then you also you can't have this, and I have this.
Yeah. I
mean, not right now, but sometimes when I'm trying to do something, it's like, you can't picture.
And thanks to Probst, when Dwaine hears that David is 2 blocks ahead, Dwayne's going to go a little faster and make a quicker mistake, and all the blocks are going to go down. And then Dwayne's going to throw the blocks at Probst, and then they'll have to cut and stop production for a moment.
Right. What I didn't think was fair, Probst says, does she have enough blocks, or will she have to start over completely? And then she begins to reposition the blocks, and he rephrases what he says
Mhm.
so that she can do that.
Now she repositioned because she didn't stretch him out far enough.
I know,
Oh,
but you're only allowed to do one at a time. And so she had him wrong. So shouldn't they make her like knock a few down and then do one at a time again?
I think as long as they're I don't know the rules, but I think I'm getting what you're saying. But I think as long as they're standing, any block that's standing can be moved one at a time. Which
Okay,
is what
that is true. Okay,
Yeah.
very valid point. Because if I go up and I put my block here,
Mhm.
and I can start adjusting this one also.
Right.
So yeah, okay, there was nothing wrong with that.
Because even Zeke was doing the smart thing of every block he was leaning and then putting the next one up and then letting them go and then doing the next thing. So yeah. If one had fallen, yes, she'd have to take it all the way back to the table and bring it all the way back into the rack.
Right. Yeah. Okay. I was just in my mind, it was different because it was at the end, but you're absolutely right. You just bring them out there. You can adjust them all you want.
Yeah.
So she didn't
Smart,
do anything.
not to waste a turn. Yeah.
As long as she hadn't tried to push them down or anything, or one had fallen. Well,
right.
I don't know. All right. So we got the immunity challenge, and Andrea wins immunity. And I'm really surprised more people didn't knock their dominoes down.
They just didn't. Well, Andrea did it right the first time. That's a seasoned player right there.
And we've seen many times when they've tried it and it didn't work.
Yeah, I want to say
reset them up.
I want to say it was Kagayan. I think it was like Michelle and Arby and Jason, all those. They were doing it multiple times, and I forget who won it, but yeah, I think Michelle won it.
Well, anyway, so she wins immunity, and all of a sudden, Andrea is a woman of power.
This is where I think the Zeke vote came from. You've got power when you got immunity because you can't get voted out, and if you mess up, you got 3 days to fix it or 2 days to fix it. So she got a little more brazen when she's wearing that necklace, and I think this is where she said, "I'm safe. Let's make a big move, Zeke."
Yeah.
So, because you're right, because Cerise told Sarah, "Yeah, okay, fine, we'll go with Sierra for now." I mean, 20 minutes earlier, she told her. I thought, okay, they're going back to Sierra. She saved Zeke, but nope. Andrea's going to get away.
All right. So Andrea and Cerise are trying to get Zeke gone, which is part of the 6, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right. Michaela has a very valid point. Why would you knock out one of your 6 and make it 5-4, and then all they have to do is flip one of you? Why are you voting out one of your own players from your alliance? If you were to step back from the whole, let's just change alliances every single week and think about it, why not go, okay, let's get a 2 people advantage before we get one of our own off? And I think Michaela has a very good point there.
What's funny is that weeks before, she's told people not to go with their safe alliance, make their move while you got the numbers. And now she's saying, stick to your safe alliance. Don't make any crazy moves. Stick with the numbers. But she is right. If you're up 6-4, it takes 2 people to flip. If you're up 5-4, it only takes 1. And this is a game of movers and shakers,
Well, so Michaela and Sarah are both, but somehow, which I guess you have this all in your head, how it got moved around and why Ty got voted on and all that kind of stuff. Have you thought about all this, or is it in our feedback or something?
No, I've thought about it because Ty didn't seem as shocked, and he also didn't play as idol, which I don't know if anybody told him that, or to me it was they obviously didn't fill in that foursome on what they were doing. They told them who to vote for. They followed the orders as they were told.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden the 4 of them were shocked that it was Zeke.
Yeah, because Bradley, Sierra, and Troyzan vote for Ty. So obviously, Sarah and all them told them to vote for Ty. I wonder why they did that.
Because they didn't want them to know that they were playing something on Zeke. Because Brad and Troyzan, who've been talking to Zeke, if they've gotten wind of the Zeke vote, they could have saved Zeke if they'd had an idol.
Well, they also could have been using them to split the vote.
True. Yeah, if Zeke had an idol, exactly.
Yeah.
So they make them null votes, make them the backup plan. We'll all go Zeke. Zeke plays an idol, Ty goes home.
So why did Ty? So Zeke thought they were going for Sierra, of course,
Yes.
and then Ty votes with Zeke.
No, Ty voted Sierra.
Voted Sierra. Ty
Yes.
voted with Zeke.
Ty voted the way he was told to vote. I think.
But by whom?
And he thought more people, probably Sari or Andrea.
But
he
he's
thought
not
more
with
people were
them.
voting that way. Yeah, but they're voting the way they're told to vote. That's what I'm saying. Whoever got to him, whether it was Sarah or Zeke or Michaela or whoever, they told him he thought he was voting with the group to vote out Sierra.
All right. Well, then they had a master plan, and that plan was to split the vote, and they used everybody else to split it.
Exactly.
So they
used the
knew
people
Zeke
that were
was going to
willing to
vote
help
for
them.
Sierra.
Yeah.
They tell Ty to vote for Sierra. They told Bradley, Sierra, and Troy Zane to vote for Ty. You've got a split vote. If there's that was pretty darn well played.
Yeah, and they didn't have to tell that group that they were splitting the vote. They just told them which way to vote and don't answer any questions. Like Zeke said, trust me this time, and and we'll work together, make a big move next time. So for all they knew, they were working with Zeke and working with Andrea because they were voting out Ty and Ty was voting out Sierra.
Right.
So as far as they knew, they were helping the other group vote out one of their own. That's why that's to me where all the shock came from.
So there's a little bit of conversation going on in the chat room, and I'm not sure if it's what I'm thinking it is, but I don't think Andrea's vote to go after Zeke was an emotional one. I think it was a strategic one.
Zeke made a move against Andrea like 3 weeks ago. She's had that in the back of her head. Yeah,
it's a strategic move.
Now she may have seemed emotional because she felt betrayed. Mm-hmm. Absolutely, just like Dwaine tries to vote me out at some point. I'm gonna be shocked and a little torqued until I vote him out.
What are you kidding me? Every time we talk about every time we talk about Survivor, you tell me you would vote me out in a New York second.
Yeah, but if you stayed in the game, I'd be worried because then you'd be coming after me. And if you tried to vote me out and I stayed in the game, you probably wouldn't make it to the next travel game.
Why couldn't we just be alliance guys? Why would we have to go against each other?
Because you're too nice and people would vote for you.
Yeah, but we'd split the money and no one would know it.
No, we would not. You would keep every penny of that money.
No.
You would buy me a new MacBook, and then that's all I'd get.
I don't know. Maybe not. I might pay off your mortgage or something.
Ooh.
All right. Anyway. All right. Let's see. How long will it take for Ty to tell somebody? Or are those idols just gonna sit in his pants and do nothing? I mean, what do you think? I mean, if the guy's never in trouble, then we just got the production's mad at themselves for showing him where the idols were.
Yeah, he's taking 2 idols out of play for somebody else to use. Exactly. Because next week on Survivor, we could get a whole reshuffle of the deck.
Well, yeah.
Well, no, they still have numbers. They still got 5 to 4.
Anyway, I just feel like why not go ahead and just put some more idols out there then?
Yeah,
because he's not going to play it. He's probably forgotten where he put them. I mean,
he was when he saw his name come up, he probably thought, "Boy, I wish I had an idol to play." Oh, wait a minute.
Yeah,
I do have idols to play.
Who should I play this idol on? Me? Maybe.
Right. Yep. Well, I still think Andrew was right because Zeke was coming after her next. If Sierra had gone, Andrew was going to be next. If Zeke had his way.
Yeah.
But Sari is rightfully worried about Sarah.
Yeah,
she's right.
Can we? I mean, I don't really have I don't have a lot to say about Tribal Council at all. We've already talked about leading up to Tribal Council. Do you have anything else before I talk about Michaela crying?
Well, that's funny that you mentioned her. That's the last thing I want to talk about before going to Tribal. And I don't really have anything at Tribal to talk about. But before going to Tribal, I love the conversation between Michaela and Sarah. They do not like the votes. We're gonna risk giving a flipper a chance to go to the other side. I don't like this. To me, we got more strategy and honest talk out of Michaela this episode than we have in 2 seasons. I thought this was one of her best episodes. It ended with her emotional reaction to it, but Andrea finishes by saying, "Time to put my foot down and see if the 6 will vote together." And Sarah said, "Trust is everything." But I think the conversation between Michaela and Sarah is what's going to spur a true reshuffle next week. And those two are going to try and make a big move to avenge Zeke. I think Andrea and Sari are in trouble next week.
Yeah, very likely.
Yeah.
Well, someone on Twitter was like, why was Michaela, crocodile tears or whatever? And, and she said something earlier in Tribal that explained it. Sometimes you have to turn the heart off to make the right move. And I think that's what happened. She did not want to vote out Zeke. She apparently was closer to Zeke than we might have thought or whatever. But for whatever reason, it made her terribly emotional because she did not want to do it. But she had to do it for the game.
Oh yeah, I agree. She liked Zeke. She sympathized with his story. At the same point, she did not want to lose a number.
Right.
But I think she went in with Sari because Sari wanted to do it. But she was with Sarah, the fact they didn't like it. But you're right. She had to turn off her because she wears her heart on her sleeve. She reacts emotionally. She reacts in honesty. But for the most part, you're right. She had to turn it off and make that vote. And it was hard.
Yeah.
I appreciated the reaction to it because that's how the game should affect people.
Yeah. By the way, wouldn't Sari be the original Mama C? I think we should ask Carolyn that next week. We should ask Carolyn that next week. Why are you taking away Sari's rightful name? I'm just, what's up, Carolyn?
Good question. But let's ask that at 9:58, not at 8:30. That's right.
That's right.
She's signing off. She's signing off. One more question.
Yes. What the heck? All right. Well, that was good discussion.
So what did you think of the episode overall?
I'm loving this season a lot. I really am. Yeah.
I liked it. I mean, it wasn't a great episode. It was kind of a ho-hum. I felt like towards the end there, I'm like, where is all the vote candidates as they're walking off? I'm like, are they really getting rid of Zeke? I guess they're going to get rid of Zeke. And it's like, and then all of a sudden Tribal Council hit. And it's like, after. What about you, Zeke? Sarah, what do you think about the alliances? Okay, so and that was Tribal Council for me. I'm like, really? Why are we just listening to all this baloney when we're just going to vote Zeke out? But anyway, it was a good episode. It was maybe it was the challenges that were just kind of ho-hum. But I don't know. It was good, but it wasn't great.
Okay. I think sometimes, I guess I probably do it too sometimes. I feel like sometimes we are overthinking so much that we don't just sit back and enjoy the game and enjoy the show. It's like we have to evaluate everything. And why can't we just sometimes sit back and enjoy the show? Last night, I was able to just sit back and enjoy it. I don't know why. Sometimes I get annoyed by things and it ruins the episode for me. So I can understand that. But then, sometimes we both do that.
I guess because I get asked on Thursday mornings, what grade would I give that episode after talking about it? And then I want to hear your thought on it. Your grade. Right. I'm sorry. I won't ask that question ever again.
What? No, I'm saying that sometimes we put ourselves in a position where we feel like we have to know all the answers or we have to have it evaluated just right instead of just being a fan that likes to listen to the show and watch the show and then talk about it.
Because we're podcasters. They want to know what we thought.
Like I said, sometimes I do that.
300 times we've done this.
No. Sometimes I do that. Other times I just sit back so you and I can just talk about it.
Okay.
And sometimes you do that because there'll be an episode and you'll be like, you know what? Any survivor is good survivor. I enjoyed that. Whereas the same episode 2 weeks later, you might come back like you did today. And, this kind of annoyed me because when you watched it, you were in a little bit of a different frame set. You're in a little different mindset. So that's all I'm saying is sometimes we watch it more critically than others.
I think what I was most annoyed maybe this week was the editing. It wasn't the gameplay or anything. Cause you're right. I am totally enjoying this season. Fully. I just think the editing, I think once my brain went to what are the rest of these people doing? It kind of stuck with me till the end. Cause it's like, we only got 4 people the whole episode.
Right. So now the season's great. CBS is, scraped the bottom of the bucket of Hades, doing whatever they can to get ratings and taking advantage of people and doing whatever they can to get ratings. That is not appealing to me, but you know what? I'm going to separate them and I'm going to enjoy the show.
Absolutely.
If I didn't participate or eat or buy things from every company that I didn't agree with what they were doing, I would not eat anything or buy anything. Right?
Mm-hmm.
You don't want to talk about this. You don't want to talk about this.
No, I'm trying to think of who I could live without buying from.
Well, okay, like a Home Depot or Lowe's, you could probably do without one of those. A Walmart or a Target, you could do without one of those. A Belk's or a Dillard's, you could do without one of those.
Chick-fil-A.
Chick-fil-A. Oh, no.
Oh.
Chick-fil-A, Bojangles.
No.
Chick-fil-A, Bojangles.
Not even close. No. Bojangles, it's still dripping with grease when you pick it up. No. It's Chick-fil-A.
See, now I'm wanting to, my wife's going to bed before I get done. I can
And
go
Bojangles is like 5 seconds from your house. So.
Oh my gosh. Those Bowberry biscuits.
Chick-fil-A's already closed. So
You see this though? See my picture on this thing?
everything.
Look. Do you see that guy?
Yes.
That's the way I was when we started.
See all the hair on top of my head?
David,
Now I have to cover
David
it.
looks the same. David looks the same, except now he wears a hat.
Right.
And I'm like 80 pounds less there.
When you say those Bo biscuits, you know what I remember? Nathan coming home from work while we're at your house and bringing like this suitcase full of those biscuits.
He
into the
used to
house.
work at Bojangles. He hated it, but you know what time
Now you probably can't
He
even
got
walk near the building.
he got so mad. He came home and he goes, "I'm so mad." I was like, "What?" 2 people got fired today. I said, "Why?" Because they were having in the back of the store. And I was like eating chicken going, "Okay." Put the chicken down.
What were they doing before they were in the back?
Yeah.
Were they
like,
cooking? Were they?
I mean, like, there's 8 people working in the restaurant. Hey, they won't notice if we're gone. I mean,
Yeah.
what the heck? All right.
Let's go get some paper products.
Yeah,
That's right.
it's like Dwight and anyway. All right. Woo! We got some feedback tonight. Well, I was surprised we didn't get as much feedback tonight.
Yeah,
You
but
know?
we got some in-depth feedback. We got some well thought out feedback.
Well, good. I'm looking forward to reading them and hearing them. So before we get to our feedback, we want to invite you to join our Facebook group. Seriously. It's a lot of fun. We're not trying to sell you anything. We just want you to join our Facebook group. It's a lot of fun. It is the place to be. stwdd.com/Facebook, or just look up Survivor Talk on Facebook and ask to join. We do ask you to join. We don't just let everybody join, because when we did that, lots of eyeglasses were sold.
Yes.
On our website,
Or attempted to be sold. Yes.
Yeah. And as always, listen, my friends, if you like to read a Survivor blog, take a ride on the Kaiser Island, because it's good stuff. So,
Yep. Who will be making a trek to Los Angeles in about 3 weeks?
is he going?
He's trying to, yes. And it looks like he probably will be.
Ryan.
And I hope I didn't give anything away by saying that, but he told me that. So
What? Were you not supposed to tell any? Were you not supposed to say that?
I don't know. I hope it's okay that I said that. I don't
Well,
think.
guess
it's
what?
gonna be
You
a
just
problem.
did.
Yep. Hello to all 3 of you listening. Good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Will, I don't have the feedback song anymore. It was horrible. Boom, boom. No, that wasn't the feedback song. What was
That's
it?
the VeggieTales song.
It's time for feedback. We got some feedback. Yeah, that was long and drawn out, and it was not good. Sorry, Will, the Giant Ninja. By the way, Will the Giant Ninja owns more of these shirts than we've sold to anybody else. Alone, he owns more
Yes.
of them.
He familiarized them.
I think he wears them to court underneath his suit to give him more power. They're power shirts. Anyway.
Right.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's Will the Giant Ninja. What's up, guys? It's Will from Wonder Lake again, a.k.a. the Giant Ninja. Well, it's been a while since I've checked in. In that time, my Hawks were swept out of the playoffs, but the Cubs are still World Series champs, so life's not all bad. Meanwhile, we're down to 9 players left in the game, which means it's the perfect time for a classic GNR. So I don't know about you, David, but that sounds like a very uncomfortable medical procedure. But luckily, he tells us what it is, a Giant Ninja ranking. All I know is if I'm at the doctor's office and he goes, "I need you to lean over for a GNR."
Getting a giant ninja resuscitation.
I'm getting nervous.
Especially when he says lean over.
Yeah. It's like when you hear the, you're going, "Oh, really?" All right. The doctor asked me the stupidest question at my physical. Do you know what he asked me? No joke. This is not a joke. He actually asked me, "Would you like me to give you a prostate exam?" He actually asked me that. And I said, no, if you don't mind. I'm pretty sure it's okay. We checked it 6 months ago. We're good. I thought, and I actually laughed. I said, you just asked me if I wanted that.
I think I've told you this before, but when I went in for my physical, I didn't realize how physical my physical was.
Oh my gosh.
That I went in for.
Yeah.
And he starts explaining things, and I see the box of gloves, and I see the other things, and I thought, my first thought was, am I dressed appropriately for this?
It doesn't matter. They're gonna make you undress anyway.
And then I thought, what would be the appropriate dress for this physical? I mean, I came in like sweatpants and a t-shirt. It was probably my day off, and I'm like, am I dressed right for this?
Well, don't they tell you to take everything off anyway, except for your underwear and your socks? And then
No,
you sit on the table.
no. I only had to take off what needed to be taken off at the time of the whatever it was. But I'm just saying, I just felt like, man, it's almost like one of those clean underwear things that you wear in clean underwear when you have an accident, in case,
Always wearing clean underwear, David. Always wear clean underwear.
or not at all. There you go.
Vader Girl says, try being a woman. No thanks.
No thanks.
I'm not even going to say what she just wrote, but you're right. And on that note, back to Will the Giant Ninja. Meanwhile, we're down to 9 players left in the game, which means it's the perfect time for the classic Giant Ninja ranking. Remember when he used to do this for all 20 players?
He would write letters to each one.
Oh my gosh. As a reminder, this ranking is not based on who will go the furthest. It's based on win equity. Who has the best shot to win the whole thing? In most years, someone ranked 7, 8, or 9 is probably more likely to make it to the end than someone ranked 4, 5, or 6. But that's because good players surround themselves with bad players. So, without further ado, Michaela, number 9. I love Michaela, but the cast does not. She's rubbing people the wrong way and hasn't made any moves of her own. If she makes it to the end, she gets no votes. There's just nobody out there, other than maybe Ty and or Troyzan, depending on how the game plays out, that she can beat in a jury vote. Troyzan, do I even want to know what's going on in the chat? No, I do not. Okay.
Don't get distracted. Stay on target.
Will the Giant Ninja goes, I'm so glad I could inspire this tangent. All right, number 8, Troyzan. This is not his island. Troyzan is a pawn. I'm going to have to close the chat room. Y'all stop it. All right, Troyzan is a pawn. He's a vote. He doesn't have much win equity.
Did you just cover your mic while I coughed?
No, I covered so I couldn't see the chat room.
Oh, I thought you were covering your mic because I was coughing like it was going to come through your mic.
No. All right, Troyzan does not have much win equity. That was funny, David. As nobody out there respects the game he's playing. He's not really playing.
What game?
Yeah, he's not playing. He's just kind
They're
of
not
like,
letting us see it.
he's trying to stay alive. He's got the Bee Gees song in his head the whole time.
Yeah, really.
He hasn't done anything to earn jury votes, and if he makes it to the end, it will be with someone more deserving than him.
According to
Ty.
the edit. Yes.
Yeah. This is the classic number 7. Is more likely to make it than, okay, I'm sorry. This is the classic 7 is more likely to make it to the end than 4. Ty is holding 2 hidden immunity idols. If he plays them, he's guaranteed to make it to final 7. But he's not going to play them yet. I think people are going to overlook him for a few votes, and he's going to be able to play them late in the game, possibly as late as final 6 and final 5. Like his last time playing, I think Ty makes it all the way to the end, but has almost no chance to win this game.
All right, there's a bet out there. It's not going to cost you anything, but you can win if you get it right. And here's your choices. 1, Ty gets blindsided with both idols in his pocket. 2, Ty plays his idols in 2 consecutive tribal councils, and he's safe both times, obviously. Or 3, Ty plays them both in 1 major tribal council. Which one do you go with? So you got that. So he gets blindsided with none. He plays them in 2 consecutive on himself, or he plays them both in 1 tribal.
I don't think he'll get blindsided with none. What were the other ones?
He plays them in consecutive tribals and saves himself both times, or he plays them in 1 tribal on him and someone else.
I say the plays him in 2 consecutives, but I
Yeah.
don't think it's going to save him.
I think this late in the game, you're right. I agree that he won't get blindsided. He's going to be playing them soon. I think he plays them both in one tribal and makes it a big trouble.
He doesn't.
It won't be
need
his
him.
plan. It won't be his plan. It'll be somebody else's plan.
Right.
But
I mean,
they
why
need
would
to
you
swing it
not
back.
take Ty to the end? He doesn't even need the stupid things. Production is probably wishing they could go steal him.
Yeah, steal him back.
He doesn't need them.
That'll be the next reward challenge. For this reward, whoever wins
Gets to take Ty's idols.
whoever loses has to release their idols back into the wild.
Yeah. So when he streaked last episode, why didn't they see his idols?
They did.
Number 6, Aubrey. If you told me before the game started that Aubrey would still be in the game at this point and would be ranked this low, I'd have to call you a liar. But here we are. We're not seeing enough of Aubrey for her to be a real winner candidate. I'm sure she's directing quite a bit of action, especially with her 5-woman alliance. My guess is that she gets eliminated by a hidden immunity idol. Maybe Troy's. Troy has an idol? I don't remember that.
Yeah. He found one at the challenge. Remember, he fell all over the table.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, but we don't know that because we don't hear anything about it anymore.
Yeah, Probst doesn't even know about that anymore.
Mm-mm.
Wow.
He's
Brad.
gotta be blindsided. Yeah.
Number 5, Brad. Brad was huge in the pre-merge, but he's almost disappeared lately. He needs to form a new alliance with people below him on the list. If he can do that, he's got a great chance to go to the end. Unfortunately, any alliance he forms now to take over the game will include Sierra, who will get more credit for it than he will from Suri and company. And in Survivor, perception is reality.
So that's a good point because Sierra's going to get credit for going up to see Suri and Andrea and asking to vote who to vote. We didn't see Brad go up to him unless Brad got orders from somebody else. Like he may have gotten orders from them through Zeke, but that won't be the same as Sierra coming up to them, I think. So that's a good point.
Based on our discussion earlier in the episode, I don't know that Brad needs to find another alliance. I just think he needs to stay on the good side of whatever group happens to be voting together that night.
He needs to let Ty. Yeah, he needs to let Ty win immunity challenges too. Don't be a target.
Yeah, because as soon as you get with one alliance, it's not going to be an alliance in 3 hours.
Right.
Number 4, Andrea. She's playing a great game, and she correctly identified Zeke as someone who was gunning for her. She struck first, which is why she's still there, but Sarah doesn't seem to trust her, and I think she's going to fall into the "we're the top 5" trap and stop playing. I don't know if Andrea's going to stop playing.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Number 3, Sierra. Rightly or wrongly, Sierra is seen by the Aubrey, Suri, Andrea trio as the leader of the other side. If she can make some moves to get to the end, they're likely to vote for her. And if Michaela is on the jury, she'll probably vote how Suri does. That's 4 votes right there, plus Troy's and Brad, if they're not at the end with her. And Debbie will vote for her. If Sierra can avoid getting to the end with the players above her, I think she can win this game. And David, how ironic would that be? That Sierra, a last-minute addition.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't know that she really made game-changing moves last time she played.
Right.
Would actually win game changers.
That'd be awesome.
Number 2, Suri.
Stick it to production. Go ahead.
Right. Suri is showing the world why she's one of the best Survivor players of all time. Everyone out there should be afraid of her, but nobody seems to be. If she gets to the end, she'll win. But everyone knows that she'll win if she gets to the end. So she won't win because she won't get to the end. Just like in Panama in Fans versus Favorites. Number 1.
And heroes and villains, since this is her 4th time.
That's right. Number 1, Sarah. Sarah has been dominating this game. She has been on the right side of the vote every tribal council, I think, and is holding an advantage that the editors are suggesting she'll play correctly. If she does, and she gets to the end after another move or two, I don't see how anybody beats her. Wow. Officer Sarah? Really? Yes, really. Officer Sarah is winning this game. Hopefully she'll do it by flipping back and forth a few more times. with Michaela in tow. I'd love to see them pull off the two-man Sesternino, or as the other Will called it, or as other Will called it, the pendulum strategy. Later, peeps. Will at the Giant Ninja.
The only vote Sarah did not get right was Michaela and Haley, but I think that was a split vote in case of an idol.
Which would mean she did not get it wrong.
Correct, right. She wrote down the name that didn't go, but I think she was in on the vote itself. Yep. So you're right. I think she was in on every vote. So one thing I really like about our podcast is, well, it's probably my favorite thing, is the interaction we have with the folks around the world. We can say,
that's awesome.
So our Facebook group is amazing. The private chats we get to have with these people we just met through Survivor and the Survivors is amazing. One thing I love about our podcast is the feedback, because it's people's personal thoughts that they share with us, allow us to read. It's really as close as we can get to interaction without having them on the show. Right. Because if we did that, we'd be on all night. So one thing I miss is people like Lou who would title their feedback.
Oh, that's true.
And just give a very subject-oriented feedback. I really miss that.
Lou's feedback would confound the smartest man in the world.
It was amazing.
It's like you had to read it 5 times to finally figure it out. It made sense once you figured it out.
Right.
Lou,
exactly.
We miss you.
Yes. So John from Ohio, he did not title his feedback, but I'm going to title it for him.
Oh, here we go, ladies and gentlemen.
15 questions from John.
Oh my gosh. How long is this thing?
It's not long, but every statement is a question.
Oh, really?
Yes, just about. Yes.
Wait, does he put, he put question marks after them. So at least he knows they're questions.
I went back and counted, and it's 15 questions. I love you, John. I love getting questions. It's fun. It's funny, but it's like, wow, every line I read is a question.
So he's thinking, all right, they say I'm not supposed to have longer than a 3-minute feedback. I'll get them. His feedback's like a minute, but it'll take us 10 minutes to get through it.
Exactly. All right. Hey, it's John from Ohio.
Hey, wait. Yes, it is.
Yes, that's right. Do you think that Sierra will lie to Sarah about the power of the legacy advantage next week? Great question, because they don't know what the legacy advantage means because they didn't see last season.
Right.
So
she just goes, I had the legacy advantage, and they're going, oh, okay, cool. What is that?
Yeah.
I'm supposed to know that, aren't I?
If I had to answer that, I would say no. I don't think she's going to lie because she wants to build Sarah's trust.
No, and because she's clawing her way out of the pit. Right. There's zombies below her. She's trying to get out to the safety of the zombies above her.
Yeah, and if she's caught in a lie, they still have numbers to get rid of her.
That's right.
Number 2, if Sierra tells Sarah the truth, I think that's why he did this, just to try and twist me up. If Sierra tells Sarah the truth about the legacy advantage, do you think it's a smart move by Sierra? Well, it might be a lucky move because Sarah values telling people about her advantage as a way of trust. So Sarah may take it as a sign of trust from Sierra. So telling Sarah the truth might be the lucky person, might be the only person to tell that to, because she values honesty and sharing of information. Do you think it's a smart move that she's telling her?
Well, I mean, based on what we know, I don't know. I mean,
I know
it might very well be a smart move. She's certainly not in a place of power, so why not use whatever leverage you have? And if you think this will help, if I'm Sierra, I'm thinking I'm going to tell Sarah about this so that she'll want to bring me in so we can use it together.
Right.
So yeah.
And I think it helped strengthen Ken and Jessica last season too when she told Ken.
Right. It's like those videos on YouTube where the guy is standing next to this like beautiful Ferrari, right? Mm-hmm. Well, earlier, like down the block a few minutes ago, he asked this girl if she's interested, and she's like, no, totally dismisses the guy. Then the next time she sees him, he's by a Ferrari.
Right.
And guess what? Now she wants to go out with him.
Right.
This is true stuff. And, so that's kind of the same. Sierra's going, okay, you're not interested in me until I have something to give you.
Right. Good
Yeah, way
point.
to go, John. We're already at
Energy.
4 minutes on your thing.
All right, this one's easy. Do you think it's more likely to see Sierra or Andrea go home next week? I think Andrea.
Sierra. Oh, I said Sierra.
I say Andrea.
Oh, wait. No, why would Sierra go home? Yeah, Andrea.
I think Andrea winning that challenge is going to hurt her. I think she's
Yeah.
more of a threat.
Okay.
And plus, the way she kind of bullied Sarah and Michaela into voting Zeke, I think that's going to hurt her too.
Okay.
But she didn't have much choice because he was coming after her. See, now I'm only extending this feedback longer. Do you think Aubrey, Andrea, and Sari are in trouble the next couple episodes? John, do you just want us to tell you what happens the rest of the season?
Yeah.
Is that where we're going?
Are you trying to get spoiler information from us?
All right, he says they seem to be darned if they do and darned if they don't at this point. Going after Zeke was the right move because he was in fact hatching a plan to get rid of them and work with Troyzan and Brad to the end along with Sarah. But Sierra is still around now, and Sarah could easily go back to vote with them the next time. Their fate seems to lie with Sarah and potentially Michaela at this point.
That is absolutely true.
Absolutely. So, yeah, I do think that Sari and Andrea could be in trouble. Andrea because of the move she forced, and Sari because she's Sari. Who wants to go to the end with Sari?
Right. But he makes a good point. Sarah and Michaela did not want to vote out Zeke.
Right.
So now, if they can turn things around and go against Andrea and Sari, then they're in trouble.
Right. Oh, absolutely.
I mean, if I'm Sarah, who do I want to go to the end with? Anybody but Andrea and Sari.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
all right, next question. Do you think Michaela and Sarah will flip to join Brad, Troyzan, Ty, and Sierra? Well, if you look at the next time on, they're having it's a water conversation. I'm not going to say it's a aqua dump because you wouldn't be doing that beside each other.
oh my gosh, David.
It's a water conversation where it looks like it's Troyzan and Ty and Sierra talking to Michaela. So yes, I can easily see that.
Absolutely. Well, that's just the tail end of the question above. David, David. Nobody does aqua dumps while talking to someone else. That's like answering the phone when you're on the toilet. It's wrong. Do not do it.
So you don't want me to take? Okay.
David, I haven't. Okay.
Anyway, next question. Do you think?
Wait, I called my dad about 6 months ago. I'm talking to him, and I'm like, and I hear this. I was like, "Are you in the bathroom?" And he goes, "Well, yeah. What's wrong with that?" I was like, "Dad, that's disgusting." Because why? You didn't know it until I flushed the toilet.
Yeah, but you haven't washed your hands yet. So anyway, next question. Do you think Ty and Troy will ever tell each other about their idols? That scene when they're talking about idols is so funny.
No, I don't. I think they might tell other people, but they're not. Why were they going to tell each other? They're both like little pawn people.
I could see Ty telling Troyzan, but I don't think Troyzan tells Ty. Because he got two. Why not? Were you surprised Ty didn't play one of his idols?
I was
no, because my theory behind it was, I guess I could have been at the beginning, but my theory was he felt secure. They left him believing he was secure. So, but I think he might consider playing it pretty soon.
This is the longest short feedback ever.
Yes. Okay.
Which is fine. I mean, it's just.
Did you notice the look Troyzan had on his face when he was leaving tribal council? Was he looking at Debbie and reacting to her saying idiots? Two questions in one.
All right. That is a very typical look from Troyzan. He does that all the time.
Yeah. Especially when he didn't know what was going to happen.
Yeah. I mean, he's just like kind of, oh, good job.
Yeah. I think it was a blindside look on his face. I don't think it was Debbie's reaction because they're not supposed to listen to the jury.
Well, it's like at during Warrior Survival Challenge when he realized that he wasn't where he thought he was. He had that same kind of look.
Exactly. So next question. Will the fate of the game be decided by Sarah and Michaela? They seem to be in the middle of these two sides after the episode. They didn't want to get rid of Zeke. I could see them going with the other side easily. I think the next episode will be decided by Sarah and Michaela, whether they lead it or are targets.
Yeah. They are certainly in a good position right now.
Yeah. When do you think Ty and Troy's idols will come into play?
We don't have any idea. We've already talked about it. We don't have any idea.
Hopefully,
like
production.
John?
Hopefully,
didn't you hear us talking about this earlier, John? Why are you asking it again?
Next question. When do you think Sarah's vote steal will come into play?
That's a good question.
I'm going to guess in 3 weeks. Not 3 weeks. In 3 tribals.
It's going to come. It's going to come into play on the.
It probably is going to come into in the final. Was it final 5? It's the last time she can use it. I'd say I'll guess final 6.
I think it's going to come. I think she will be the first person to use it correctly, partially because they made a point to show us that.
Yes.
But also, and they're showing us her playing very well. Yes. So I think she's going to play it very smartly, and it's going to turn the game on some people, and it's going to put her in a very good spot, and she absolutely could win this game.
I'll predict she plays it at final 6, which is one time before she has to play it. Even numbers, she takes somebody's vote and uses it against them, and then she's voted out in 5th place.
Oh my gosh! Really?
I don't know. That's
she
a crazy
is not
guess.
going to get voted out.
That's a crazy theory. Okay.
Gosh, I remember those days.
I know.
Dwayne's crazy theory. Okay, go ahead.
Will Ty be upset with his alliance for voting against him? For about a minute.
The question is, will Ty know they voted against him?
That's right. That's a good point.
No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, he'll be upset for 5 seconds until someone talks to him.
Until Tarzan says, "Hey, we're still here."
Well, plus, Ty doesn't really get upset with anybody.
Yeah.
I mean, he'll say, "I'm very disappointed," and that's about it.
Yep. Next question. Did you notice Sarah making the police siren noise? Yes, I did notice that when she was coming up on Suri and Andrew at the well. That was so great. Yes, that was great. That was funny.
I did not notice that.
Wee-oo.
Wait. Oh, yeah.
When she came up to the well,
Right.
Technically, Zeke was the 4th person to be voted out to join the jury last season since Jessica got rocked out of the game. Is that a loophole to say that the jury curse is still alive, or is it really stretching? It's really stretching.
I don't know, because Jessica was not voted out of the game, as we like to remind her often. I think Jessica may become one of our added to our list of favorites to have on our show, because oh my goodness, I have a blast with her on the show.
Yeah, plus she gets Adam on the show. So.
Well, I wouldn't use her to get Adam.
Oh no, he actually came on his own tuition this time.
They are very close, and of course we got the secret scoop from Adam about the chickens, and that is on the YouTube page.
And that is
Mike.
Dawn. So now it's Mike. Sorry, I had to finish.
Oh, yeah, you're right. I'm sorry. Here you go. Okay. Mike from Canada, eh? I wonder if they still do that in Canada, eh?
I think you're the only one that still does it. They got a picture of you on the wall going, eh?
What was that movie?
Fargo?
The guys that were beer brewers or whatever. And it's like, eh, you know what I like, eh? No, that was a little Spanish Canadian
TV skit. I don't think it was. Did they make a movie too?
Yeah, they made a movie.
Oh,
I mean, they made a Dumb and Dumber movie. They made all kinds of movies out of SNL skits. But anyway, hi D&D, Mike from Canada here. More in the past than in the present. But first, let me explain. Last week, best guest and best show of the season for Survivor Talk with D&D. So congrats to all. The insight Cass provided was invaluable, makes everything about the game so much more enjoyable. But Dwayne and David, I think you were just as impressed. One thing in particular I liked last week was when the conversation veered off Survivor Talk momentarily. And Cass and David discussed briefly the movie blockbusters to come this season. It was only a minute or two, but I really liked that you call an audible here. It just made everything better. You know what's great about that? He loves it. Others hate it. But more people love it than hate it. So it's good. It's good. And it's who we are. And since we're just two best friends talking about the show we love, we can do whatever we want.
Yep.
And you don't have to listen if you don't want to, but you can if you do. Here we go. One thing that was obvious last week, and I would like both of you to address it, has to do with getting guests on the show. More specifically, last week, the 2 hours was clearly too long for Cass to put aside. She even made a few references during the podcast and at the end about how tough it was to do things like this now. Dwayne and David, have you ever considered just having Cass on for the last 35 to 45 minutes of the show? That to me would seem easier request for her to accommodate, and who knows, she might come on more often. Maybe it doesn't matter for some guests, but I hope you consider it, or in Cass's situation, If she could leave an audio comment or assessment of an episode, it would be perfect. Here's the deal, Mike. When we ask Cass if she wants to come on the show, she doesn't want to come on just 35, 45 minutes. They like being on the whole show.
Yep.
And I would rather have a guest on for the whole show than a guest on for 30 to 35 minutes. So
plus when we have them on, we do all the meaty conversation at the beginning where we talk about the episode and the players and stuff. The feedback, sometimes if somebody has to go, they usually split before the feedback.
That has happened a couple times.
Yeah. But at the same time, we're basically working around them.
Right.
Whatever time they can join us, we are just blessed and honored that they want to join us.
Yeah. I mean, you know how we get guests? We just ask, hey, you want to come on the show? And we get, some people can't do it, their schedule, and some people can. And, I
some
think
people are in the season and have to say no.
Yes. Or other things. Anyway. But, so it's just, there you go. So there you go. Thank you for the advice. And there you go. Now you know how we do it. Now, regarding this week's show, I disagree slightly with Cass about Sarah. Initially, we got lots of quotes from Sarah about actions she was going to undertake, but it was just talk. I think finding the advantage in Michaela's comments about being at the bottom of an alliance at Tribal had more to do with awakening Sarah into gameplay mode. Had more to do with awakening Sarah into gameplay mode and out of talk to hear yourself talk mode than any plan she might have devised. Sarah, like Zeke the week before, is shopping her vote around. It got Zeke eliminated, and it will probably cost her very soon in the game. In her first season, overconfidence in being the swing vote cost her, and I think Sierra is a better fit with Aubrey, Andrea, Suri, etc. When they realize this, it will be time for Sarah to go. Just a last comment or two. The look on the face of Ty at Tribal Council when his name appeared on the ballots with 2 idols in his pocket was priceless. You're assuming they were in his pocket, by the way. With Brad and Sierra scrambling to remain in the game, I expect Ty to use an idol next week unless he wins immunity. Not a bad episode at all. Thanks for listening, Mike. Thank you, Mike. I love feedback.
I know.
And we have one more. Yes. Mere I Am. Who we say 3-minute limit. So when the 3-minute timer goes off on her audio podcast, on her audio feedback, she decides just to call back in again and do another 3 minutes.
Well, that's because she's in the chat room twice. So she thinks she gets to do 2 feedbacks.
Yeah. Way to go, Mere I Am / Vader girl. All right. Here we go. Mere I Am, the lady who loves black cats and kale.
Hi, Dwaine and David, and D&D chat patrons, friends, listeners. This is Mere I Am, also known as Vader Girl, calling from Edmonds, Washington. A little bit groggy, I apologize. I, for some reason, slept all day. Don't ask me why. I'm a little bit discombobulated. Too much Kevin Garvey hotel living. In transition, not like Caitlyn Jenner, but in a transition in my life, and things are looking better. So it looks like I'm about to get homeward bound here. I wish I was. No more cigarettes and magazines. Anyways, enough with that. Survivor was great. It was fabulous. I really love Survivor. I can't believe after all these years, Survivor is still relevant. Jeff Probst looks exactly the same. His face is a little bit frozen, but God bless him, love him. Last night episode was good. I was very bummed to see Zeke leave. Zeke is fabulous. I just think he's represented human beings in an excellent way. And I think he's a great game player. I hope to see him back after he has a little bit of time to reevaluate his game, watch it on TV. And I think he could really make it all the way. He's very much Richard Hatch and love him. Gotta love Zeke. I'm a little bit concerned for Andrea. I feel like she's great. I love Andrea. She's beautiful. She's one of the most beautiful Survivor players of all time. She seems like she's genuinely beautiful. However, I feel like she made some emotional game moves. And as a Star Wars fan or anybody, I don't like it when judgment or fear gets in the way of decision making. or emotion. Sometimes I feel like it's better to be like a Vulcan and a little bit logical. And I feel like the better gameplay for Andrea would have been to get Zeke back and make sure he was on your side, either pulling Adam Klein, I'm sorry, I ruined your game, I screwed you, with that honesty, or to be like Tony Blancos, or be like Poverty, and manipulate somebody back and make them feel like you are on their side again and win them over again, instead of being so emotional after a game move that you decide you're not going to play with him anymore. I just feel like that wasn't very smart gameplay, and I feel like it was too much emotion in her decision. And I also feel like she's probably next to go, which according to the jury curse would be this next episode. So if everybody's going home, I guess in the same sequence they went out on earlier games. For example, Ozzy was second juror in a season. Haley was first juror in her season, so on and so forth. It seems like everybody's going along that line. And apparently Andrea is whatever juror it is next. I just feel like she... Dwaine and David, this is Mary M again. I don't know if there's a 3-minute limit or I got cut off. I guess there's a 3-minute limit. I just wanted to finish up and say that I do feel like Andrea made a poor move, that she's kind of by herself now. Still loving Siri. Siri's amazing at getting in people's heads. Like I said before, I think the winners of this season are possibly Brad Culpepper, Siri, or for certain Sarah. Officer Sarah. I think Officer Sarah is certainly getting a winner's edit. I think she's playing really well. I think she's using a lot of skill. I don't know if anybody saw her tweet to Stephen Fishback. I guess he didn't give her the fishy in one of his KIA recaps last week, I guess. And she sent him a tweet like, there's still stuff. I think your glasses are still stained up. P.S. I'm at a sleepover, and just really funny stuff. Very Vlankos confident tweets. And I think she's likely getting a winner's edit. Maybe Edgic is right. Maybe Edgic is wrong. But the edit does seem to somewhat reveal things. And, I do like Sarah. I think she's great. I would love to see a police officer win. Police officers are always there for us. They help us in peacetime. They're protectors. I just think we need positive role model police officers. So go Officer Sarah. And sending you guys lots of love. Everybody support D&D Patreon group, going shopping through Amazon link, or just giving a one-time donation. And sending everybody love, sending your families love. Hi, Gracie. May the force be with you guys always. Eat healthy. Black cats for life. Eat lots of kale. No, I'm not Max Dawson's girlfriend, but I am a fan and a follower of his. See you guys later. Have a great, beautiful day. Bye-bye.
I love that she gave an introduction at the beginning of her feedback. It was just here I am. This is where I am. This is who I am. And here we go. I love that.
It's like every week. I am now in a motel room with my black cat, and there are people outside my door making me nervous. It's like she could die at any moment during this feedback. So, by the way, David, there's 2 of these buffs for you that I'm supposed to mail to you.
Get them before the end of the season? Because I think you've had them for like a month.
I've had them for a week and a half, maybe 2 weeks. Well, Mike K sent them to me.
Yes.
And then when I call him to thank him, he goes, "Oh, sure to give 2 to David."
Thank you, Mike.
I'm like, what? You don't have David's address? Here's a gift.
He's already an increased Patreon.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Don't push it.
Mike, you can have me send anything you want to David. All right.
Send in love, black cats and kale. There you go.
Yeah. Oh, man. All right. The problem with buffs is they are just darn hot.
Yes, they are.
We do not have any feedback tonight. So,
we just did feedback.
I mean, we don't have any iTunes reviews, so we're not going to do that. And you don't get the iTunes review, whatever it's called. All right. Let's see what we got. Oh, David's wisdom word. David, what is your word of wisdom tonight?
I'm going to go shorter than John's feedback. Guaranteed.
Well, that's good.
It's very short. My words of wisdom this week are, if you stumble, just make it part of the dance.
What the heck?
Come
Really?
on.
That-
Sure.
That's such a serious one.
How about some people are like clouds when they leave when they're gone, it's a beautiful day.
I like that one.
Okay, I thought you would.
Well, David's word of wisdom. If you fall, make it part of the dance. You have been
Cool.
listening to David's words of wisdom on BBC Radio.
Sponsored
All right.
by.
A special thanks to our friends. Don't forget, we're about to do the riddle here in a minute. So,
Oh shoot. I thought we were done.
a special thanks to our friends in the chat room and to those of you who have made it this far into our episode. Thank you as well. I wonder if anyone in our fan base, David, has listened to all 300 episodes. Do you think? Other than us who were there.
Thank you for recognizing that fact. So
Yes.
I have listened to all 300 episodes.
Yes, you
Well,
have.
no, not all, because I missed the one that I wasn't on.
Well, yeah, but you go and listen to those. You probably
Okay.
don't. You're such a
No.
butthead.
No, I listened to the beginning to see what you said about my dog. I think it was when my dog
Okay.
had emergency.
Mike K says he has listened to every single one. Now, Mike, did you listen to like the very first one? Did you listen to it the week we did it? Or did you find us a month or two later and then caught up? I mean, that doesn't make it any less impressive. Way to go, Mike. But, I was just wondering. Well, anyway, 300 episodes, David. Pretty darn cool.
Yes.
I was telling my wife that this morning. She was like, wow, this was just like a hobby. Now it's just like part of your life. I said, yes, it is.
Mhm.
All right, we're going to
Terry
read.
Terry doesn't bark as much anymore. She goes, "What's going on this week?" That's kind of how we address our Sundays.
Yeah.
What's going on this week? Because soccer's wrapping up. We're in our conference season, and she's like, "What's going on this? We're doing this on Thursday. Just podcasting after 9:00. Okay,
Mhm.
just go from there." So tonight she dragged me out to Walmart. She got a new phone, and she made me go to Walmart.
Awesome. I love that we only do it once a week, though. It was way too much to do it twice a week, consuming all of our time.
Yeah, that was a lot. We were doing
we
it.
did. That was putting the show before our family. So we're going to try to read and figure out Mike's riddle. And then we're going to continue and do a little bit of shooting the breeze. Maybe. We might have a couple things to talk about.
Do I get to read it, or are you going to read it?
No, we're going to both pull it up at the same time. So don't.
Oh,
pull it up.
okay.
And then I can read it. It doesn't matter. After the outro music. So this is after the outro music, and we will keep it on YouTube. So it'll be on YouTube as well. So if you want to hang around and listen to our riddle solving and riveting conversation about whatever we feel like talking about, feel free to hang around. That's it for me, David. How about you?
Good.
All right. Bye, everybody.
See you.
David, come on. It's the same routine every single week.
I'm in the middle of something.
Well, you
And
shouldn't have been. We're in the middle of a show.
You were delayed a little bit. I couldn't.
All right. That's it for me. How about you, David?
I'm good.
All right. See ya.
See ya.
All right. I'm looking for his message.
So what, was I delayed or something? Was I paused or something?
Apparently, yeah. Or I was delayed for you.
Oh,
All right. Let me open up this thing. Here we go. All right. Are you ready to follow along as I read it?
yes.
All right. Here we go. Hi, David and Dwaine. I love mind games. In Survivor Thailand, they had a totally unfair deterministic mind game for an immunity challenge called Thai 21. 21 flags were placed in a circle. Taking turns, the tribes had to gather 1, 2, or 3 flags. Taking turns, the tribe had together 1 or 2 or 3 flags. The tribe took the final flag. What? The tribe that took the final flag won immunity.
Mhm.
Suk Jai tribe got to sit out Rob Zabachnik, who they thought was their least intelligent player. Jeff gave the tribes time to discuss strategy before flipping a coin to determine which tribe would go first. Suk Jai won the coin toss, and so they should have won this challenge, but they lost to Twigon. How many flags should Suk Jai have taken to guarantee they would win if they played correctly? And what is the correct strategy to win tie 21? Mike, P.S. bonus question below. Don't peek at the bonus question below until after you solve the riddle. Okay, there are some videos on YouTube where guys use this game to get women to kiss them.
Oh,
Have you seen those?
no. I know what the challenge is, but I've never seen that.
It's like, okay, whoever says, 21 last wins or whatever. I do not know the way that works. Let me think. How to win tie 21. Google is my friend. Google is my friend. Okay, I'm sorry, Mike. I won't do that. All right. So if you go first and you pick, wait a second.
So
do you always make it so that yours is odd?
Well, the trick is to make sure there's 4 left at the end.
All right. Well, let's try this. I'll go first, and every time you give one, I will make it so my answer is odd and see if it works. Because I need to end up with you at 17, 18, or 19, right? No, 18, 19, or 20. Right? Okay. So I'm going to say 1. Now you give me a 1, 2, or 3.
All right. So you took 1. I'm going to take 2.
So that means we're at 3 now.
Yeah, I'm keeping track.
Okay. So you took 2, so we're at 3.
So you're going to take 1 or 3?
No, I think you actually say the next number. So I say 1, you say 3. Because you did 2, which made it 3.
Okay, I took 2, which made it 3.
Okay, and I'm going to take 2, which makes it 5.
2, which makes it 5. All right, I'm going to take 3, which makes it 8.
Okay, 11.
So you're taking 3 more?
Well, 11, yeah.
Okay. I'm going to take 1,
Which
makes it 12.
3 gives me 15. I'm about to win. Go ahead.
3, which gives you 15. And I'll take 3.
Get you to 8. Oh, crap.
Which means I just won. Because if you take 1, 2, or 3, I'm going to take all the way to 21.
But there's a secret to it. You should be subtracting from 21, but you can count it up. Look, I'm doing it the way the guys do it on the YouTube videos, Mike.
So you would never get a kiss, is what you're saying.
Well, I wouldn't have done that. I'm a married man. And honestly, they've probably already talked to the women ahead of time. So, but okay, so that's obviously not the
guarantee they would win if they played correctly. Well, that's hard because it's how many flags the other tribe's taken at the same time.
I know, but there is a trick to it. There is a trick.
I got to be honest, I'm not good at.
And I wish I had taken the time to figure out what the trick was.
Well, you didn't read the riddle. Oh, you were thinking it was going to be a quick answer riddle?
No, I knew this would be difficult. Yes, Mike, I know it's a survival challenge with 21 flags, but it is based on tie 21, which is what the thing is. We're going to talk and we're going to add 1, 2, or 3, and whoever ends on 21 wins. That's the game. He said David is on the right track. He said, yes, there is. David is on the right track.
So I took even, then I took odd, then I took odd, then I took odd. Is that the track he's talking about? Because I don't see where I took 2, then I took 3, then I took 1, then I took 3.
What's crazy is the people that know this are going, you idiots. All right, hold on. There's actually people still watching this. All right. So
I do remember this challenge. Why did you think it was unfair? Because I like this challenge. I love
who said it was unfair?
Mike said it was detrimentalistic, unfair, detrimental, unfair. What do you say?
Okay, it's unfair because if you know how to play it, then you've automatically won.
Well, if you're good at carnival games, you're going to do good at Survivor games too.
No. If you know how to play it, you're guaranteed to win. If you're good at carnival games, you're not guaranteed to win a carnival game.
Got you. You know how to count this game out. You know how you can win.
You are guaranteed to win if you know the secret. Right? Because at 21, whichever tribe goes first should win. Dadgummit. All right, so maybe I should do all even numbers. Let's see.
Yeah, let's do it again. Let's do it again since you lost the first time when you and I both played for the first time.
I'm going to try to do it where I go first and I do even numbers.
Hold on, let me write the numbers down.
Yeah, Mike said, that's what I said, Mike, guaranteed win.
Okay, 21 flags.
2.
So you have to take 2. All right, so I'm going to take 3.
Just say the number that it adds up to.
It's 5.
Okay, 6.
I thought you were taking even.
I ended up on an even number.
Okay, so you're taking just 1 for 6. I'm going to take 2 for 8.
Stop saying how many you're taking. Just say the next number.
Okay.
10.
11.
14.
17.
Crap, you did it again.
I love this game. Thank you, Mike, for making us play this game.
But neither one of us knows the secret.
I think you should have stuck with even.
No.
Although I haven't watched the challenge, so I don't know. So
you're saying I should have always picked 2 is basically what you're saying.
Let's try and see what happens. 5, 6.
You're saying I should have always had 2, added 2. No matter what you said, I should add 2.
So you're starting with 2.
All right, 2.
3.
5.
8.
10.
11.
13. 'Why in the world did I make this a $6 perk?
15.
17.
There you go. You went even the whole time. And I went different things. I didn't go one particular odd or even. I went different things. I mean, I could have made it different too.
All right, yep. I went even every time. But that would mean you'd always have to start on 2.
And that would also depend on what I pick. So what is the trick, Mike? I give up. What is the trick?
No. Let's go. I'm going to go watch the YouTube video. Well, no.
The game? No.
Well, I want to see if the guy starts with the 2 on the YouTube videos, right? Look, this isn't officially part of the show, y'all, so we can go on whatever tangent we want. YouTube 21 to get a girl to kiss you. How to get girls to kiss you from YouTube. Oh my gosh. Do not look this up with your kids in the room.
See, now if you go 2 every time and I go 1 or 3, you don't win.
Yes, let's see. There is a trick. Kissing prank. Oh, that's not the one I want. That guy's weird. All right. All right. Let's see. A 12-minute video. No, we're not doing that one. All right. Dadgummit. Are you still trying to figure it out while I'm looking up this video?
I'm sending somebody a link first.
Oh, okay. Let's see. Trick. Oh, goodness, these guys there's some really cruddy stuff on the internet. Let's see. Computer.
South Beach, I'm gonna be tricking girls to kiss me. Just watch and see. Miss Italy. Check this ball out, right? It's real, right?
Well, that one's not going to be it.
It's all real, right? All right, this is what we're gonna do. I'm gonna put the ball right here, or the ping pong ball, right? I'm gonna put the cup over it. This is the deal. If I can get the ball, right, without What up, invaders? Chris here. Today I'm in beautiful Santa Cruz at the beach, and we're going to be playing staring contest for kisses.
Nah, we're not doing that one because it's a certain guy I'm looking
We're
for.
going to play a quick staring contest for a kiss, okay?
I think this guy might do it.
Yes, guys, we've got another beautiful Brazilian girl out here. Well, I'm going to try to speak to her. Maybe she understands a bit of English, yeah? Okay, basically, what we're going to do is we're going to play a little game between me and you. It's going to be like a counting game up to 21.
Oh, here it is,
You wanna
David.
play this game?
I didn't understand, she said.
Okay. Let me try to explain to you. Yeah? Hablas what? Portuguese? Me no speak Portuguese.
Can you hear it, David?
No.
Barely, yeah.
Basically, we're going to play a game. Jogo.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Wait.
Yeah. It's counting. 1, 2, 3. No? It's a counting game between you and me.
Entendi.
Yeah. It's like a jogo or beijo.
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 Tá.
Yeah, so
If he
we're
wins,
trying
he
to
gets to
explain
kiss her.
you- I don't know how this is gonna work. She doesn't speak English, so you don't speak English at all.
No.
No.
Já entendi. Beijo, jogo por beijo.
She understands it's a game for a kiss.
So no English at all.
No.
Just Portuguese. So I'm gonna explain to you then how we're gonna play the game.
Oh my gosh, dude.
How we're-
Oh, I just found it.
Oh, apparently she didn't want to play the game. He just started kissing her. So, okay, let's see. Here's the
All right,
next.
so
¿Cómo te
the,
llamas?
oh,
¿Tabata? ¿Cuántos años tienes, Tabata? A ver si podemos alegrar.
Why is it that I look up a game and I get the Spanish version?
so the key. You want to know the key of the game?
No, you weren't. Okay, I guess we do now. No. If you know the key, then you
Yeah.
do it to me and I'll see if I can figure it out.
Okay,
So you're
Let
going to
me-
pick a number first.
I'm gonna go first. Yeah, let me put my numbers down. Let me flip this over.
Okay, look, guys, this is worth $6 a month just to hear us do this.
All right.
This is the perk for $6 plus some other stuff. Like we said, it's just kind of a little extra thing. It's not like you're doing
All
it
right.
for the perk. All right, here we go. I'm going to
All
figure
right.
this
So I'm
out.
gonna take one. How many are you taking?
2. No, my number's 2.
So that means. Did you take one? Or
No,
did you take two?
I don't tell you how many I take. In the game, you just say the next number. So you say 1, I say 2. Which
All
means
right,
I
3.
added 1. 4.
All right, 7.
8.
9.
12.
Huh?
12. Come on. Oh, Mike says we're wrong. I wonder if everything that you do has to be divisible by something, like by 3.
Wait a minute. 1, 2, 3, 4.
6, 9, 12, 15, 18. Okay, I've got it. I've got it.
13.
13. Oh, crud. You got it. You said 13?
Yeah.
16. You're going to do 17.
17.
And then I say 18, you win. So what was your way that you did it?
Well, actually, I thought I screwed it up. It says the key is to make sure with 21 flags in the field, the first team has a sure win if they hit every target number for each step of the process, which is 4, 8, 12, 16, and 20.
Oh, 4, 8, 12. So it's 4. You always
It's-
make sure that you hit the one that's divisible by 4. I was
Correct.
thinking divisible by 3,
Yeah,
but divisible by 4.
right.
I like that.
Yep.
See, a little bit longer, I would have figured it out.
Oh, you would, because you were getting closer to it each time you did it.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you're starting with 21 flags, if you remove just one flag, you're already on the path to winning.
Right.
So you had like 3 shots to do it, and I still beat you. But otherwise, you were close. You were getting really close because you took one flag.
Well, let me ask you this, because if the key is to always hit the key numbers, and I say 1, like you start with 1, and then I say 4, how are you going to get back to the? I guess you could say 5, and then
yeah.
Okay.
It keeps going.
So you get to 8, right? Okay.
So the reason I won the first couple rounds is because I was looking at the flags and you weren't. I think that's why, because I had a target as to what to get to, was like 4 left, and I'm constantly looking at that as I'm looking at because I got hash marks as I did it, so that's why I won.
All right, Mike is saying on the way up, you start with 1, and then it's 4 from there. So 5, 9, 13, 17. You want to always be on 5, 9, 13, or 17. If you're going up and not coming down.
Okay. Yeah, it said coming down. Yeah.
All right. Well, that was fun.
That was interesting.
Fun.
That was breaking down a challenge. So what is the correct strategy? Okay, to win 21. So the bonus question is down below. Here are the 12 moves taken by the 2 tribes. So that the first tribe took 2 flags.
Oh my gosh, Mike.
Maybe how many and which of these 12 moves were incorrect? Well, the first one, because you don't take 2 flags at the beginning.
You should take 1. Yeah. How many and which ones? Okay. If Sook is the first one, then their first move was wrong. And then whenever Sook Sook should have went to 16, and instead they went to 15. And so that's 2 mistakes. And then they should have went to they were at 14. They didn't really have a choice then, so that wasn't a mistake. The other group's down to 12. They should have said, well, again, there's nothing they can do. 9. Okay, then Sook should have said 8. And then Shy, they left 4. And then, well, no, that doesn't make any sense. Oh, yeah, if they had said 8, it wouldn't have been impossible. They left 4. So then, well, by that time, they couldn't win. So
you're really good at this. The first 5 moves were all wrong. And 6th move was right. 7th move didn't matter. 8 and 9 were wrong. The 10th move was correct, and which is what made him win.
Oh yeah, that makes Troy win. Oh, he wanted to know each person's. I thought he was just asking about Sook.
Oh yeah,
I didn't know he was asking about it.
You were right. You were on it.
All right. Well, that was pretty fun.
So I guess nobody knew the first move to make up that game because it was wrong.
Well, no, but if you had happened to know it though.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's a pretty good party game.
My first thought, I thought when we were reading this, was the Cracker Barrel game where you try to do all the jumps to get to 1, but that's not a 1 in 3 thing. That's just a 1 at a time thing.
No. So Timothy graduates next week.
Gracie comes home next week.
Yeah, I'm about to be an empty nester.
I've got a few years to go.
Me and my wife sitting around the house doing nothing.
Yeah, because Davis turns 13 on Tuesday. Same day I go get Gracie.
David.
I know.
13. Wow.
13. He just
Man. All right. Yeah. So when does Guardians of the Galaxy 2 come out?
Came out midnight tonight, probably.
I might actually go see that movie.
You should. Maybe we can talk about it next Thursday night.
Do you think it's going to be as good as the first one?
No, because we'll already know the characters. They won't be as fresh and new to us.
Exactly. I did not know Guardians of the Galaxy was going to be funny.
Yeah.
Which made it even more enjoyable.
Yes.
So Gracie says it comes out on Tuesday.
No, Gracie comes home on Tuesday. It comes out tomorrow.
Oh. Gracie, shouldn't you be doing homework or something? All right, man. Well, we spent all that time on the thing. I don't really have a whole lot to say shooting the breeze wise. Do you?
I'm answering Mike that yes, that Word document was awesome. I was reading it while you were doing yes, and that what was right, what was wrong. No, I guess we're just shooting the breeze. I still haven't started watching Better Call Saul. I'm kind of waiting. I know I haven't started watching it yet.
I'm also finishing up. You know what I don't like about AMC and FX? is they don't do all the episodes at once.
Like Netflix.
Yeah. So when I start the Americans, I want to start it and finish it before the next morning.
Yeah, and Miriam mentioned, oh, I know, I need to get back to the Americans. Miriam mentioned, I think Jeff Garvey was his name. He's from Leftovers, season 3.
Who's
So,
Jeff Garvey?
He's the main character in Leftovers.
Oh,
you
no.
saw the first season of that. Sheriff, yeah. So I've seen season 2, so now I got to watch season 3, but we're going to get HBO later this summer when Game of Thrones comes back out.
Oh.
Yes, the music in Guardians was amazing.
Okay, so how many seasons of The Americans have you seen?
I want to say I was into the 3rd or 4th season.
What's the last thing that you remember? We won't spoil. Try to make it non-spoiler.
Their female contact, the older woman, female contact. I'm trying to think where she was at the end of the season I saw. Was she at the end of the 3rd season?
Let me ask you this. Have you seen anything that has to do with a baby and a mother being separated?
No, I think the last season I watched started with a family in a hotel room, and they weren't in the best of shape.
Family? Okay, so you don't know about the baby thing?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Why? I mean, why not? Why aren't you watching that? It is an incredible show.
Because it's one of those shows that Terry and I watch together, and the opportunities that she and I have time to watch TV together now is minimal.
Oh, okay. So that's a
very minimal. Yeah,
that's a you
joint show. Yeah.
Now, okay, here's what's happening in my little family, David. Because I watch stuff like The Americans, Better Call Saul, Taboo, all these really amazing shows that come out on the cable networks or Netflix. I hate network shows. They're like, and it's like the whole level of cinematography, the whole level of story writing, like every single CBS, I mean, every single traditional show on the network has the same little sequence that's going to happen and everything. And it's like watching a preschool show versus a high school something. I don't know.
It's like watching a predictable show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But my wife loves, what's that show? Oh, Once Upon a Time. Oh my gosh.
Oh, I gave up on that after they introduced whatever character was in the movie theaters.
I literally sit there and go, oh, it's so horrible.
See, that's how I am about The Bachelor and The Voice and American Idol, and I'm so glad they're off the air now. I can't watch this. Even Dancing with the Stars. No, I can't do it.
Oh no.
And now that my mother-in-law lives with us, she watches it with Terry. So Terry has somebody to watch those shows with, but I just go in the other room and watch soccer or something else I've recorded.
There you go. You're sitting there watching soccer, and you could be watching Better Call Saul or The Americans.
But have you know how much I'm enjoying? What? All of what?
Have you watched all of Taboo?
Oh yeah,
what's the name?
We finished
a lot. You know, the name sounds like it's a naughty show, but it's not a naughty show.
Yeah, we finished all that. I did watch all of Westworld.
No, Westworld is a naughty show, David.
No, it's not a nice show.
I mean, it's like if you've never seen Skin, watch Westworld. It's all over the place.
Yes. But I do want to get back to Americans. I'll probably do it. Is it on Netflix or what's Americans on?
Up to a certain level is on Netflix. But if you want to catch any more of it, well, no, you won't be able to. Yeah, just watch everything that they have on Netflix. And then by the time you get to this season, it might be on Netflix.
We took Mike's riddle in a direction he did not anticipate.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. We played the game.
What channel is Taboo on? I think I watched it. Yeah, it's on FX.
It's got Tom Hardy.
Man, I love
I just watched a movie with Tom Hardy called Child 44, which
I love Tom Hardy.
Was really good. Yeah, that was.
I mean, if you had asked me what his name is 5 seconds ago, I wouldn't have known it. But oh my goodness, I have not seen him in anything I do not like. In fact, I liked what's the name of that stupid movie, The Revenant or something.
Revenant, yeah,
Revenant. He was my favorite character in that.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
There's a movie. Well, if you think Westworld is bad, Bronson is the same way.
Well, then I won't be watching it.
Don't watch Bronson. He did. Now, have you seen Mad Max Fury Road?
I have no desire to see Mad Max.
It's an amazing. You didn't like the old ones?
No.
It's probably one of the best movies of last year. It's
No,
amazing.
it's not.
Yes,
No.
it was. He's
You know
also
what movie was better than that? The
What?
Smurf movie. The Lego Star Wars movie.
I'm about to disconnect this hangout right now. He's also in Peaky Blinders. He's in the new season.
Amazing show. Okay, Becky, that's another really good one.
Okay,
Peaky Blinders.
Legend. Tom Hardy plays twins.
Okay, is it a movie or a show?
It's a movie called Legend, and
Okay,
I
but
think
see,
it's on. Where did I see that on?
I'm also watching Marcella on Netflix.
I haven't seen that.
It's good.
Marcella. I'm actually still watching Frasier on Netflix.
Marcella is a BBC. It's a cop thing, but what's really awesome about it? Well, let's quickly answer Becky's question.
Yeah.
On Taboo. Oh, Taboo is an old show, 9 seasons. No, there's
only
not
had
9
one
seasons.
season.
One season, and you get Tom Hardy on a profile. Except he doesn't, have all that. Okay, David. Let me tell you what I love about Marcella. All right, Marcella. All right.
That looks good.
Oh man, look. Most of these shows, they're dealing with one crime, right?
Yeah.
Almost every person that they show you is doing something horribly wrong. And it's like, wait, I wasn't expecting this. It's like, oh wow, they're solving this crime in the middle. Wait a second, but they're not even solving it. And you have no idea who's doing the actual crime until I just figured it out. And then they made it clear the next episode. Wow. It's a very good show. So I'm in the middle of Marcella, Better Call Saul, which I have to wait every week, and The Americans, which I have to wait every week, which is not the way we watch TV anymore. That's not how we do it.
The Fall just came back on. That was on AMC until they dropped it. Netflix picked it up and did good with it. That was
Mike K. There are 11 seasons of Frasier. Where did that come from?
Because I'm watching Frasier.
Oh, did you say that?
Yeah. Hello. Thank you for listening.
Hello. Thank you.
I'm only on season 5, episode 18, and it's so good.
I don't like Frasier.
You didn't like Frasier? Oh my gosh, it's funny. The fact that he's kind of a snob jerk just makes it funny. And his brother's the best one.
Office is funny. Parks and Recreation is funny.
Parks and Recreation's hilarious. Oh my god, that was so good.
And you know who makes that show?
Ron Swanson.
Ron Swanson. I
Yes.
love that show. Anyway, so seriously though, the way we watch TV is changing.
Yep.
It's who wants to wait a week?
Yeah, it's funny. Yeah, because I was just talking to a soccer dad about this because I told him to watch. He liked Saul. I said, no, you got to go back and watch Breaking Bad first.
Yes.
We watched Saul. So he did. And he watched it in a week, the entire series in a week while he was off, and said it. He said, nobody's ever made a show like that.
No.
He said, you can't describe that show because it's just too good. It covers so many facets of life and the way people live. He said it was just amazing. And he said, I'm so glad you made me watch or told me to watch that show because it's probably one of the best shows I've ever seen. I said, absolutely.
Oh, absolutely. It was one of the best shows. Lost was a show before its time.
Yes.
Right. It was real. Now, if Lost came out, it would be okay, but it wouldn't be Breaking Bad.
It wouldn't be as, wow, what in the world? Yeah,
right.
We'd expect it more.
But it was at a quality much higher than normal network television.
Right.
In fact, it's still higher than most network television.
Yes.
But now you've got all these cable shows that are great. And they're not all like Westworld and Game of Thrones with sex all over the place and stuff.
Yeah,
like
there's
that.
2 shows I want to see, Orphan Black and was it Mr. Robot is the other one? I want to see both of those. I've been hearing a lot about. I haven't seen them yet.
Yeah. I just don't have enough time to see all the shows that I'd like to see.
That's the problem. We don't have time to watch shows. These jobs keep getting in the way.
But what happens is, man, Oh man, I love it's anyway. There's just some really good shows out there. I like watching shows more than I like watching movies. I don't watch movies that much anymore.
I'd rather binge a show. Well, I still like movies.
I mean, I like them, but I haven't bought one in well over a year. I haven't gone to the theater in over a year.
I don't see The Americans on Netflix.
It's on there. No, it may be on Amazon Prime.
House of Cards is coming out with a new season.
Yeah, no, I'm not interested in that.
You don't watch that?
I did until a certain point, and then I was like, you know what? I don't have to watch this.
Did you watch Bloodline? Did you like Bloodline?
I watched the first season.
Yeah.
I did not watch the second season.
All right. I couldn't get into Mad Men. So you liked that, didn't you?
I did enjoy that, but I was glad when it was over.
I didn't get into it.
Like, I was into it, and then it kind of like jumped the shark. And after that, it was like, okay, when is this horse going to die?
Yeah.
I know I'm mixing metaphors there, but do you know where Jump the Shark came from?
Happy Days.
And what is the story behind that, David?
Fonzie jumped the shark.
And from that point on,
they call it, when a TV show tries to boost ratings and do something crazy, they call it jumping the shark.
Oh, I always thought that was the point when the show went downhill. So when you say something jumped the shark, that's the point when it went downhill. That's what I always thought it was.
That's probably a better explanation.
So when I said Mad Men jumped the shark, and then from that point on, it was like, I wish it was over.
Oh.
It's like when you're reading a book and you get to chapter 17 and there's 23 chapters and you're like, I wish it was over and I want to know what happens.
Gotcha.
So,
what was I going to say to that?
I don't know.
Oh, do you know where Boomer Sooner comes from?
What?
When Deke voted out Chris, he said Boomer and he said Sooner.
Okay, well, Sooner would be Oklahoma. Boomer, was that Boomer?
Boomer Sooner. No, Boomer Sooner is their fight song.
Oh.
It's actually of the same tune as North Carolina, but Boomer Sooner has historical point, because I looked up the football game that Brad Culpepper was talking about. Oh. And it wasn't 2007. It was the 2008-2009 national championship between Florida, who was led by Tim Tebow, runner-up in the Heisman, who beat Oklahoma, who was led by the Heisman winner, Sam Bradford, 24-14, which is why he wanted to see it. I know you don't care.
No, I just don't remember these things. Like, I don't
I
remember.
I didn't remember it. I just had to look it up.
Yeah, like, I don't even remember who won the Super Bowl.
The Falcons had it won until the Patriots said, okay, we're going to start playing now, and came back and beat them.
Well, that and he had better footballs.
True.
You know, I mean, hey, when you got better footballs, you got it. You're going to win.
Yes.
All right. Well, that was fun. We've been talking for a long time. 2 hours and 30 minutes.
Almost 3 hours.
All right, let's do a 3, 2, 1. Or 1, 2, 3, whatever we do, and I'm going to have to sync up the end and the beginning, and then make this stuff work.
Yes.
All right. 3, 2, 1. Record. All right. I will stop my recording. Good.
Me too.
I will be up for a while, but that's okay.
Yes, you will.
Mike, press release. It's not a high without a low. An emotional reward challenge brings loved ones together, and one castaway receives invaluable advice from their special visitor on Survivor on Wednesday, May 10th. All right, man. Oh, all right. Bye, everybody on YouTube. What?
Yeah, sign off so I can tell you something else.
Okay. Bye, everybody. Thanks for